Chapter 41. Day 7 World Realm Fusion. At this time, Yi Tianxing had just completed the large intestine meridian on the left arm, the Handian lung and the meridian channels on the 2 meridian channels. Now the body's true qi is even greater, and the true dragon qi is on the pulse, which is unique. The uniqueness of this, coupled with the continuous power of the stars to supplement, let the process of rushing pulses, like flowing clouds, break through the barriers one after another. Open the 2 meridian channels completely and clear them out. All become white jade rivers. Qi Tiandi's vitality also shuttles between these 2 river channels. The meridian veins of the Yangming large intestine meridian and the Taiyin lung meridian of the left and right arms are all integrated into one another, flowing through each other, making it more amazing and flowing. The throughput of heaven and earth's vitality is even more amazing and the quantity is even greater. In addition, when the heaven and earth vitality shuttles in the meridian channels, it will naturally nourish the surrounding flesh and blood. I can say that these 2 meridians have been thoroughly cultivated to perfection. The next step is to open up the other 12 cannons. And just after finishing the pulse, I heard a burst of exclaiming sounds from all around. He was startled, and quickly opened his eyes and looked up at his head. Sure enough, these stars are not right. They are moving. These stars are moving. They are approaching the ground. After looking closely at Yi Tianxing, his face also changed on the spot. These stars were moving, and they were still moving toward the ground. This kind of scene is quite scary. Brother, what do you do now? Those stars really seem to come over. But our bodies can't even move. Now we really have to wait here to die. Zhao Ziyan also said pale. Hua Mi in this picture is really terrifying. Don't be afraid, there is no way to be invincible. Even in despair, there will be a trace of vitality. This heavenly path cannot make us humans completely extinct. Given the opportunity before, we cannot let us die immediately. Tianxing opened his mouth to comfort. Well, we can't even move our bodies now, so watch carefully. Tang Zidong nodded. Unfortunately, I can't move. Otherwise, Brother Yi can look at the wordless book. There should be records in it. It's the 7th day, Chen Shiru said. Look, there are stars falling, Li Zhilin exclaimed. Brush. He only saw that a star had fallen completely from the sky, and that was a small star. The world in this star doesn't seem to be very big, but it also has the size of the whole China, falling down quickly and passing through the sky. Ah, it's coming over. I'm going to die, it's finished, this time I really want to break my bones. I didn't expect to be killed by the stars. There is no dead body. No, I have nothing to do, it's okay for the stars to hit me. Isn't it true that the stars are just projection illusions? The screams continued for a while, but someone immediately saw that the star ran over him, without causing any harm to himself, as if the stars were really just illusory and did not hurt at all. Rumble, but immediately followed, an incredible sight appeared in front of all survivors. He only saw that as soon as the star fell on the earth, immediately, the star was strangely integrated into the earth. The whole planet is changing in a strange way. Earth is getting bigger. Yes, the whole earth is getting bigger, large tracts of land appear out of thin air, mountains and rivers, plants and animals, seas and rivers. Derived out of thin air. It's as if suddenly a large piece of earth has grown and it has grown a large circle. And, there are countless lives that come together. Humans, a large number of humans. City, village, the people, the army, all appeared in various places in the blink of an eye. The geomorphology of the earth has begun to change greatly, and amazing changes have taken place. What's going on? The earth. It's getting bigger, lots of people, lots of cities, lots of troops, it's the costumes of ancient people, is there anything wrong? Some survivors were almost stunned when they saw the changes taking place. That picture is simply another day, it's incredible. Who can imagine, everywhere, rivers, and so formed in front of nowhere, who can imagine that billions of humans, or ancient humans, just appear on the earth in such a way? This feeling completely subverts the entire cognition. The shock that I brought was almost unimaginable. Fantasy shines into reality. Each star is a fantasy world. The people, things, mountains and rivers inside are all real. When they fall into the earth, they will become a part of the earth and make the earth bigger. Originally fantasy human beings and creatures in the world will be transformed from emptiness into reality. Become a real human being and become a real life. This is another day of change. Yi Tianxing also felt stunned at this moment. There were countless thunders roaring in my mind. The shock in his eyes was not less than that of others. This is subverting the whole world. Zijiao Zi and they have opened their mouths wide, and they are full of unbelievable eyes. Brush brush. Xing stars kept falling from the sky, falling quickly, and falling to the earth. Moreover, even if it collided with the survivors, they would shuttle around strangely and would not cause any damage to the survivors. This is very amazing. The first star to fall was the smallest star among the stars. As soon as it fell, it immediately integrated into the earth and allowed the world to expand. The sky is taller and the ground thicker. Laoshan is wider and the sea is infinite. This is simply the remaking of mountains and rivers. Among the falling stars, you can see that the historical stars condensed by various wild histories have small stars formed by fairy tales, but there are some things that are very magical and gorgeous. As far as Yi Tianxing is concerned, I saw a falling star, and there was a picture of a widower throwing an axe into a spring, painting with a pen of God, drawing a soul, and so on. Very incredible. These stars keep falling. The entire earth is changing at a speed that is visible to the naked eye. The earth is like a balloon that blows air. It inflates madly, and it is almost a circle in a blink of an eye. It keeps getting bigger. A large number of cities, a large number of humans, creatures, and even orcs, half-orcs, elves, etc., can be seen, densely packed. It just appeared on the earth out of thin air, everywhere. That picture is really shocking. Almost instantly, the face of the entire earth has changed dramatically. All landforms, all environments, all have changed. There are continents in the sea. There are islands, and they are constantly growing. The area of the Erhai Lake is expanding at an alarming rate, and its expanding speed is even wider than that of land. Each continent is in the sea, just like an island. Moreover, as the small star world fell into the earth, and after integrating into the earth, the size of the earth was increased by 100 times compared to the original, and once more than 1,000 times, immediately, the medium-sized stars began to fall. It can be seen that in the pictures of the stars, there are warriors and monks. Every world is as big as the previous earth, even bigger and more amazing. More expansive. The earth began to explode wildly again. He has more creatures, densely packed, and countless. Unable to estimate, these creatures are condensed from fantasy into a real existence. People are real people, animals, and real animals, monsters, and fierce beasts. In the face of a sudden expansion of hundreds of times, thousands of times, and even the ever-expanding earth, the feeling can no longer be described in words. Small is a kind of indescribable small. I was too big, it was too big. Moreover, the earth is constantly growing. A large number of stars are continuously integrated into the giant earth. The whole sky is constantly getting taller and thicker. Moreover, in the void, a layer of natural thunder appears, and wind and thunder shuttles change. When the satellites go up, they will be instantly blasted into dregs, and even the debris will not be found. Moreover, with the increasing number of stars in the world, the thunder layer was heavier and more domineering that day. Xintiandi's vitality is also recovering, with the integration of a large number of worlds. Massive heaven and earth vitality is poured into the earth. Long veins shuttled through the earth. A spirit mine, evolved out of thin air. Similarly, there are a lot of monsters, fierce beasts, come down, appear on the ground, exist in the mountains and forests, and infest the rivers and seas. The sheer quantity of is even more frightening. This is an infinite number of monsters derived from the evil thoughts and desires of all beings. The number of them is www.novelhall.com, unimaginable. I can even see that there is a dark channel in some places, and there are a lot of monsters spewing out of the channel. It's shocking to see, but it's just a short frame that disappears before passing by. It's impossible to tell where those passages are. It's just that shocking picture, deeply imprinted in my mind, on the soul. We'll never forget, each drop that formed the world has shocked all the survivors, unable to speak. All I know is staring at the changes in the earth. It can even be said that the earth in front of it is no longer the earth. The vastness of this heaven and earth is already many times the original number. Not to mention that the world of stars hanging in the sky is only integrated into a small part, and only small stars are integrated. The real world of big stars has not yet been integrated. Those big star worlds, if they are only one, can be 1,000 times and 10,000 times the size of the original Earth. A cricket is no different from a cricket under this kind of natural change. Now, under this continuous evolution, the original landform of the Earth has been completely subverted and disappeared. But some became more amazing. Taishan, for example, has a lot of stars in the world of stars. These worlds merge into it. The original Taishan directly merges with the Taishan on the earth, making Taishan more majestic, taller and more extraordinary. Becomes the real spirit mountain, the ***** mountain, the fairy mountain. A variety of unbelievable scenes are constantly present in the eyes of all survivors. I was shocked, but I could only watch the whole world change. www.novelhall.com. Welcome the book readers to read. The latest, fastest and hottest serial works are all in. www.novelhall.com. Please read it. Chapter 42. Survivor. Recommended collection. The first volume is over, the background is set up, let's enjoy it, haha. Brother, is this still the Earth? Zhao Ziyan asked, startled. The world is changing, and the worlds are merging. This Earth is completely different from the original Earth. It is no longer the Earth. This is a new world, this is a real new era. Yi Tianxing sucked deeply at a breath, the shock in his eyes had not completely dissipated. Even if I saw a scale claw from the wordless book before, I also thought that this movement would be so big. The changes that took place would be upside down and completely subvert everything. The original modern civilization was before such a change of the ground, that was grainy and dusty, vanished, completely buried in the long river of history. Can't make any waves. The only thing left is these survivors. He is a survivor who remains in the void. If even these survivors have died, the traces of modern civilization will really be lost. The plan can't keep up with the changes. The preparations made before the disaster are useless. The materials in the base are also finished. Not to mention that it is not finished. Even if I ask myself to find it now, I can't find the base. Where? Sure enough, there is no absolute thing in the world, even if it is prepared, it may be futile and useless. Quote. Yi Yixing murmured to himself. I used to think that disasters only brought the earth into the end of the world. In this way, the materials and bases you prepared can bring great benefits to yourself in the future, and even become the foundation for your own growth. It's all gone now. This is impermanence. Bushi, not everything in the world is around you. Not at any time. If you pay, you will be rewarded. The size of the entire earth can no longer be estimated. This is already a new world, and the creatures in countless fantasy worlds are in this world at the same time. I am afraid that the entire world will become extremely complicated. It will be difficult to estimate the future situation. No one knows what will happen. Quote. Li Zhilan also stunned. I also felt a little self-confident about my ingenuity before. I can help Yi Tianxing build power and grow stronger in the troubled times. Xian Zai, but now, this self-confidence has been beaten stiffly. In some star worlds, he saw the most outstanding counselors and military divisions in history. On the battlefield, he directly established the victory and defeat, a strategy to subvert the dynasty, and compared with those evil-level counselors and wise men, even Li Zhilan did not dare. Say you can surpass, you can win. Rumble. The pictures of the world of stars constantly coming and going on, this process, no one can feel the passing of time. The eyes constantly look at the whole world, watching the changes from the whole world. The concentration of the vitality of the world is constantly increasing, however, it is not average. In some places, the vitality is weak, and in some places, the vitality is strong. A large-scale star world merges into it. Inside there is the manifestation of the Immortal Mountain where the Shushan Ancestral Gate is located. It can be seen that in the Ancestral Gate, the fairy cranes and beasts dance, the tower palaces stand, and the clouds and mists are like a fairyland. Various visions, countless, and as more and more worlds merge. The entire world has become endless, and its scope is so large that it is impossible to imagine. I don't know how vast the heavens and the earth are, but only know that the sky is getting larger and larger, enclosing the stars in the outer universe into the sky and turning them into the starry sky of the earth itself. At the sun, the moon has also undergone metamorphosis, becoming so huge and amazing. The sun and moon in all parts of the world are naturally integrated into it. Let the sun and moon grow. Above the sun, you can see the hibiscus tree, and there is a golden black dwelling. Ji Shang on the moon, laurel is cold and sweet-scented. Big Dipper, Zhou Tianxing embellishment. Starry sky in the sky, the stars shining. All the original galaxies of Kasahara were all included and turned into endless starry sky on the sky. Be part of the world. However, the stars are above the heavenly thunder layer. If they cannot pass through the heavenly thunder layer, they cannot enter the stars. I don't know how long in the past, the fantasy stars that originally appeared have been completely integrated with the whole world, and all realms are unified. The size of the heavens and the earth cannot be estimated, and no one can say clearly. In short, it is incredible. The sea is boundless, and only countless island-shaped continents can be seen all over the world. Evolution of heaven and earth, fantasy into reality. The fusion of all realms, this is the new era, this era is the eternal era, here the heavens and earth, when it is the eternal world. Just when the realms of the world are completely integrated, the void is impossible. The sound of the famous sky suddenly appeared, and this sentence, once it appeared, echoed throughout the world. The end of the old world, the beginning of the new era, the survivors of the old world, into the new era, be regarded as heavenly dependents. At this moment, the sky sounds again. This sentence is directed at the survivors on the original earth. What is the celestial dependent? There are doubts in the hearts of the survivors. Survivors, lovers of the heavens, love of the heavens, have luck. There are great opportunities for people of the love of the heavens. This should be compensation from heaven and earth, heaven, and can survive from all kinds of disasters. Everyone has, fortunately, everyone has a great blessing. It is not lucky to be able to survive. Those who depend on heaven are those who are lucky. After hearing this, Yi Tianxing couldn't help flashing a flash of glory in his eyes. This is the great harvest. To become a lover of heaven, that is to add to the atmosphere. As long as luck is strong, even in the face of catastrophic catastrophes, there will be a hint of vitality. There will be opportunities to turn things around. The importance of radon luck can be imagined. To become a lover of heaven is the gift of heaven to the survivors of the old world, and to give them a foundation to survive in the new world, even to become stronger. Otherwise, many people will die as soon as they enter. Moreover, as Tianyan fell, Yi Tianxing instinctively felt that there was something more on his body. He followed closely. The whole body was restored, the original imprisonment had been lifted, and the body could move again. But a force was suddenly applied to the body, pulling the entire body to the ground. The gravitation that had disappeared suddenly began to recover. Ah, why is my body falling down? After that, if I go on, I will be directly smashed into the flesh, and no bones can be found. Some survivors danced in the air and exclaimed, "I won't just fall like that, I'm afraid I'm tall." Someone cried in tears. "Brother!" Zhao Ziyan also exclaimed. Yi Tianxing didn't panic. A flash of light flashed in his hand, and a bundle of rope appeared in his hand. Then he flung it hard and flew towards Zhao Ziyan. He shouted, "Catch the rope, don't let go. We must now fall back to the ground, but heaven and earth will not let us directly fall to death. Hold the rope, don't let go, let's fall, we can fall directly to a place." Quote. Haiyu, and Zidong, Shiru, Jilin, all of you grab the rope, don't let go. Such troubled times can come together to ensure safety. Once separated, no one knows what will happen. Even if you become a lover of the heavens, you will be able to get rid of the danger under normal circumstances, but this point, Yi Tianxing cannot dare to bet easily. What should happen? It is good. Tang Zidong they saw and stretched out their hands to hold the rope together, and a rope directly connected Yi Tianxing and others together. Even if the body is constantly falling, it has not separated. Hold it tightly. Shui falling at high altitude, many survivors who were quite close to each other have been getting farther and farther apart, and the gap is larger. This uncertainty is too strong, and no one knows where they will fall. The eternal continent, the eternal world, there is no such thing as a map. All maps are scrapped. I really want to disperse. I don't know what year and month we'll be able to meet again, what accident will happen, especially Zhao Ziyan, that is regret for life. Regret that can't be made up in a lifetime. Heaven dependent. When a large number of survivors fell from the void, suddenly a strange voice came from the void. He followed closely, and saw that a golden bergamot appeared in the void instantly, and one of them grasped the survivors, quickly retracted, and disappeared. This shot seems to be some kind of signal. In the new world, everywhere in Shanshan Cave, a variety of divine light burst out. There was a big hand that suddenly appeared and captured a survivor. There was a thorough sword light sweeping across the sky. Yu reading rolled up a few survivors and disappeared. A large number of survivors saw that their faces were all white, and they kept screaming. This scene, in the eyes of Yi Tianxing, was also a throbbing heart. This one is grabbing people. Brush. Suddenly in the heart at the same time, only saw. In the void in front of him, a large white jade-like hand suddenly appeared. Immediately after it appeared, he grabbed at Yi Tianxing and his party. The jade hand, like covering the sky, is dark at the spot. They will take Yi Tianxing together. But with the emergence of the jade hands, a ray of light burst out and broke the jade hands. They also brushed over and wanted to take them away. Then, this is not over yet, another sword light cut over. The three forces collided together, but there was no real collision, as if there was a tacit understanding. As if reaching some tacit understanding, Zhao Ziyan, Tang Zidong and Chen Shiru were taken away. The rope also broke instantly. Do not. Yi Yishanxing saw that he was screaming and wanted to stop. But it was too late. Those big hand sword lights disappeared after they appeared. There are still many survivors, but in the blink of an eye, most of them disappeared. I also have a big hand quickly grabbing at Yi Tianxing. With this scratch, the void will freeze. The eternal world is reborn, the mountain is sealed by the mountain, the state of law is beyond the reach, the transgressor is punished by heaven. The yoke of heaven and earth, sealed. Swing, swept by, irresistible. You reading readers are welcome to come and read. The latest, fastest and hottest serial works are in UU Reading. Mobile users please read. Chapter 43, Eternal Continent. New volume, starting from scratch. Close black lens bracket. With the emergence of heavenly sounds, a dazzling chain of gods emerged naturally across the heavens and the earth, crossing the void, blocking the heavens and the earth and sealing everything. The big hands that originally appeared in the void, Jiangguang, Gale, Thunder, etc., were all suppressed at the moment when the chain of God appeared, all under an irresistible force. They collapsed, disintegrated, and became invisible. The big hand that originally appeared in front of Yi Tianxing also collapsed. Those laws and gods are integrated into the heavens and the earth, and a mysterious restraining force is formed naturally in the whole world. The powers of the top sects that have been integrated into the heavens and earth from the world of stars cannot be shot. Moreover, they are ordered by the heavens and the earth and closed by mountains and mountains. Directly banned. Unless certain conditions are met, the ban will not be broken. Even so, most of the original survivors have been plundered, and most of them have been plundered directly. The rest are very rare, and they are sparsely falling towards the ground. No, how can this happen, Ziyan, Zidong, Shiru? Yi Tianxing looked at the void, his eyes exuding an indescribable anger. The younger sister, friend, was taken away somehow. This change is due to his nature, but also grief and anger. But these did not help. It is impossible for Zhao Ziyan to return to them. It's a good gate and a great power. If I let you know if you are bad to them, if there is any damage, even if it is powerful, I will kill, even if it is Shanman, I will slaughter. She took a deep breath. Yi Tianxing forcibly suppressed the anger in her eyes. Now that things have happened, it is impossible to go back in time. Even if time goes back, he can't stop it. According to Tianyan, it is obviously those who are integrated into the world, and Shanman is plundering the family members. It is not difficult to guess that the heavenly relatives have great fortunes, and any strong person will not ignore them and bring them back to the Zong men and take them as disciples. In the future, they may bring the Zong men to take off. Get the chance to rise. In the face of survivors, where will they live with patience, and they will be polite and rob, even if they suddenly change the world and enter the new environment. They also have no regrets and have strong self-confidence in themselves, but then banned by heaven it hit everyone a loud slap, and under the ban, there was no power to resist it. Sooner or later, one day, power will bow his head, and Shanman will tremble under my feet. The heroes will congratulate me, the ghosts and gods will drive me, and my destiny will be my palm. Quote. Yi Tianxing Yangtian made a stop drinking. Let out all the unyielding anger in my heart in this roar. Brush brush. A survivor keeps falling, faster and faster, even if it is Yi Tianxing. In the fall, the whole mind is involuntarily plunged into a coma, as if there is an invisible force interfering. Bang bang bang. The survivor landed on the ground. At that extreme speed, it should have been broken into pieces, but it has a strange invisible force to protect the body. Even if the ground is smashed out of a large pit and the ancient tree is broken, the body is not affected. Any damage. This is quite strange. Obviously, at this moment, it is protected by heaven and earth. The evolution of Shantiandi continues. I am on earth. No, now it should be called the eternal world, the eternal continent. Among the continent, the sea is immeasurable, and there are even all kinds of strange waters. Jia lay by the Caribbean Sea, which contains mysterious treasures, the Gourmet Sea, which contains endless food, the Ghostly Sea, which contains death, the Gem Sea, which contains gems, and so on. All kinds of strange seas are derived from the eternal world. The sea is immeasurable, and islands larger than the earth in previous lives are entangled in the sea. The distance is infinite, very long. Such a distance, ordinary people, can never cross the two continents, the long seas between the islands in a lifetime. Jinn everywhere in the star world, forbidden areas and restricted areas have also formed in the eternal continent, and they have become more terrible. The various evolutions are not known to ordinary people at all. But what we can know is that the size of the eternal world can no longer be estimated, even if it is powerful. I am afraid that I can't reach the end of the world in a lifetime. Jinn say a golden eye appeared in the void, glanced at the world, and there was a smile of joy in the eyes without emotion. But then, the golden eyes disappeared and disappeared into the sky. Grass, blue sky, white clouds. The breeze is blowing, the green waves are like the sea, and the fragrance is sweet. Valley, jungle, a river runs through the valley, along with grassland, jungle. Like a true dragon, nurture life. The Luan Valley is very large. At first glance, it looks like a huge basin. Can accommodate a large number of people to survive. In the valley, there are fruit trees and rivers. If you are here, it really counts, it is definitely a settlement place to deal with. Whatever you think, this place should be a peaceful place. Xian Zai, but now, the valley seems very messy. A large number of humans gathered in the valley. There are businessmen, soldiers, ordinary people, young parents, traffickers, and even children and pregnant women. Gathered in the valley, the number is afraid that there are no fewer than hundreds of thousands. The ground is covered with straw mats. There were many wounded on the straw mat, lying on it, moaning. Some doctors are helping to see the doctor to bandage the wound. An open fire was buried in the open space, and the traditional Chinese medicine was fried. The wounded are soldiers and ordinary people. Some bones were broken, some arms were bitten, and flesh was torn off. Blood dripping. In the valley, the people gathered in groups of 3 or 5, with weeping and fear on their faces, and a strong loss of confusion. Those soldiers also seemed dazed. Among these soldiers, there were obviously no real generals, and the uniforms they wore were somewhat different. Together, it is even more impossible to be harmonious, and no one can truly subdue others and obtain leadership. Now, it's a piece of loose sand. I barely gathered together, but with great alertness to each other. I was still there, the danger outside, so that everyone had no thoughts on the other, one by one desperately guarding the valley. Lao Jiao, what do you say about this world? Before our family was still eating lunch at home, it appeared here in a blink of an eye. This is too weird. There are monsters outside. They can't go out at all. As soon as they appear, they will die. Injured, said a middle-aged man in coarse linen, dazed. No, I was on the street before, and it was weird to come here in the blink of an eye. It is definitely not the valley city, the valley, and the jungle that I used to live in. It was in the wilderness, all around. There are no people at all, no one knows what a ghost place is. A man nodded in response. His face was full of distress. Have you heard a voice before, as if it appeared directly in your head, saying something like, the fusion of all realms leads to the eternal world, and all things frost and heaven are free? It seems that we are definitely not in the original world. Said. What to do now, no matter where it is, to live is the most important thing. There are monsters in this world. Those green-skinned monsters are very fierce one by one. The stick was knocked down and the head was smashed. I saw it with my own eyes. My friend Lao Chi died instantly, so miserable. Someone said with fear after his face appeared. Ren, the accents of these people are different, but most of them can understand. All spoke in Chinese. It is not a problem to communicate. After talking to each other, I found that the places they came from are different, even the world of origin is different. Of course, for many people, it is not enough to talk about different world issues, but they all know that the world has changed a lot. Everyone comes from different places. Different dynasties, different ages, different worlds. These, under the threat of powerful enemies outside, did not have much impact, even without thinking about these. Bang bang bang. In the distance, a soldier ran over quickly and shouted, "No, the monster is here again." This time, there are more, many green-skinned monsters, and more than just a green-skinned monster, they rush out a lot in the jungle. Rats, each as big as a hound, with blood-red eyes. Thousands. They've been killed towards the entrance to the valley. Quote. Shi Bing, this soldier is a sentry and scout. I ran fast, very fast, www.novelhall.com, but my face showed fear and despair. The enemies he saw were too scary and too many. When you see that picture, you will give birth to despair. Before that, there were only 100 green-skinned monsters. When they rushed in, many people died and a large number of ordinary people were injured. Shuliang, the number is now several dozens and hundreds of times before. Once rushed in, the current situation can easily kill everyone in the valley without leaving one. It's over, what to do now, everyone speaks. Someone heard that his face was as white as paper. The previous experience is still vivid now. Those monsters are just killing people when they see people. Seeing humans is no different from seeing prey. Masters, everyone's safety is up to you. Now what do you do? Get an idea. Someone looked at the soldiers in the army who were close together in twos and threes. These soldiers were not from one army, one dynasty. Naturally, there are separations and cautions. Now here is the most unstable factor. If you can unite all the soldiers and twist them into a rope, maybe there is still a chance of victory. Why soldiers fight? He is a loved one, a common people, and a home country. For fame and fortune. Now the home country is gone, the loved ones are gone, the country is gone, and their hearts are equally blank. I don't know who to fight for. There is even more alertness to each other. Without the integration of the strong, no one can restrain anyone. This is contradiction. At this moment, in the valley, lying wounded, I only saw that a young man in a modern combat suit opened his eyes violently, sat up instantly, stood upright from the ground, moved his body, and a crackling bone cracked immediately on his body. www.novelhall.com. Welcome the book readers to read. The latest, fastest and hottest serial works are available at www.novelhall.com. Mobile users please read. Chapter 44. Fight for Survival. Why did you get up? You woke up from a coma. A doctor said in amazement when he saw the young man stand up directly. Lie back and let the old man take care of you and see if it is fully restored. An old man also said concerned. Don't bother the two old gentlemen. I know my own body. I don't have anything at all now. There is no problem at all. I will return after waiting for the kindness. Now, the most important thing is to solve the monster outside, said the youth flatly. Qing Nian, this young man is not someone else, it is Yi Tianxing. I fell from the sky before, and finally fell into a coma unconsciously. I don't know how to fall into this valley. At that time, a large number of humans came down and gathered together in the valley, so that even if he was unconscious, he did not seem too noticeable. Then a monster killed him and someone died. Someone was injured, and a doctor brought the injured together. Qi Yishanxing was also treated as an injury and put together, but no injuries were detected, it was just a coma. Can only keep him lying there. Although I have been lying down, I am not completely unconscious. In fact, I was awake a while ago. It was only that the surroundings were unknown, and instead of rushing to get up, he listened intently to the sounds of discussion around him. In a short time, I have a general understanding of the information of everyone around. From different dynasties, from different worlds, different statuses, different identities, soldiers have no command, no one can command all people with prestige, and the most important thing is that there does not seem to be such a big picture and such a dominant consciousness. Only exist. The situation in the whole valley can be said to be a piece of loose sand. In such a situation, to face the invasion of monsters, that is to find death, everyone must die, rush in, absolutely no one can live. After discovering this situation, Yi Tianxing had already made a decision quickly in his heart. Immediately, instead of pretending to be in a coma, he stepped forward. Quickly walked towards the entrance of the valley. While walking forward, looking at the soldiers and soldiers gathered around in twos and twos, he opened his mouth and said, you are soldiers, even if you are from different worlds, different dynasties in different countries, even if your loved ones are not around, your home country no longer exists, but you are still soldiers, you are still soldiers. Quote, the mission of soldiers is to guard and conquer. Guard the safety of the country, guard the laughter of loved ones, and conquer all enemies. Now you have no home, no country, you don't, and neither do we. But today, we guard our own lives, fight for the old and weak women and children behind us, and fight for our survival. Ruo, if you still feel that you are a soldier, a man, pick up the weapon in your hand, follow me Yi Tianxing, and kill together. Every step that Yi Changxing said, he took a step, and at each step, he was firm and powerful, with a sound on the ground. Each step conveys unwavering faith, a determination to dare to fight with any enemy. The sound of infuriating sound echoed in the valley, and in the end, just roared out. I do'n't have a backbone, so he's going to make it. I have no leader, so let him take the lead. The strength gathered here is not weak, and the number of soldiers is not small. There are hundreds of them, and there are not a few adult men in the valley. Picking up weapons also has combat power. What they lack is a leader, and what they lack is a conviction. If they are lacking, then Yi Tianxing will give them. Ji Yishanxing's words were like the bells of the morning bell in twilight, and they instantly struck everyone's hearts, especially those soldiers and soldiers. After hearing them, the light flashed in their eyes, and a kind of sharp evil spirit appeared. They are soldiers, they are good soldiers, but no one is in charge. Yu Ren, someone is taking the lead now, and the breath emanating from Yi Tianxing gives them a kind of coercion against the general, and that kind of attitude instantly gives them a sense of awe. Shi Bing, then a soldier, shouted, "That's right, we are soldiers. How can we shrink here and let the monsters slaughter at will? I don't want to die yet. I want to find my family. I can't die. Fight for survival, even if not for others, for ourselves, we must pick up weapons and kill his mother. Done, the big deal is to die. We have killed monsters before. Even if we die, we need to pull a few monsters to back it up. See if Lao Su's knife is not good or bad." A loud roar emanated from the soldiers in the valley. No one laughed when they were swearing. They were soldiers, not scholars. Yan Jing, each eye was red, took the knife and gun, followed directly behind Yi Tianxing, and strode forward. Originally soldiers from different dynasties and different worlds, at this moment, as if the original diaphragm had completely disappeared and disappeared into nothingness. There was only one thought in his mind: kill, follow Yi Tianxing, and kill the monster. Mother, I'm going to kill the monster too. If I'm afraid, I'll pull a monster down and take my back. In the valley, a burly man yelled, picked up his shoulder, and rushed up. Bu Kuo, yes, even if you die, you can't be daunted by monsters. What about monsters? Monsters will still die, afraid of ass. Someone yelled, grabbed the stick, and rushed up. Many people are powerful and afraid of anything. Even if we die, we have to die on the road to fight monsters. We have no home and no country. Now it is time to fight for our own survival and our own life. Kill his mother. Quote. The others in the valley also cried. Each one was inspired by the sight in front of him. He is a man, which is not bloody. Just because something keeps the blood pressure down and cools the blood. Now, the blood in the body is almost cooled, it is excited at once, and it boils on the spot. He did not die in despair, but broke out in despair. If you want to kill, you will kill a happy one. If you want to die, you will die a bird. Even if I die, a mouthful of blood will spray into the sky. A large number of men also rushed to the valley entrance. At this moment, they are not afraid of death. Feeling the movement behind her, Yi Yishanxing nodded secretly in her heart, but did not turn back, holding the war spear in her left hand and the tang sword in her right hand. A murderous gas exploded from his body. This is the murderous gas accumulated by Yi Tianxing over the years. In the past few days, thousands of monsters have been hunted. The body naturally cultivates murderous energy. This murderous look made the eyes of the soldiers behind him even brighter. This is similar. Shangu, this valley is very strange. The valley is large and very wide. It is surrounded by mountains and looks like a gourd. There is only one real entrance. As long as the entrance is guarded, no matter how many enemies there are, it is difficult to really break through. This is a natural level. And the place where these people gathered was near the entrance, and there was no real entry into the valley. It's still on the periphery. I reached the entrance in a blink of an eye. The entrance is a long and narrow passage. In terms of passages, in fact, dozens or hundreds of people can pass through side by side at the same time. Grumbling. As soon as I came to this passage, I heard immediately that a strange crow was sounding. With a fixed eye, a large group of green-skinned monsters grabbed the sticks and rushed into the passage with a mighty rush. The swarm of rats swarmed over. The swarms of rats were densely packed. I was afraid that there were thousands of them, each of which was extremely large. When they bite, they could instantly break a person's neck. The body shape, the ***** gaze, can make people feel fear in an instant. There is no way to have the courage to fight such a monster. Even if it was a soldier who rushed over following Yi Tianxing, the people saw a huge amount of monsters in front of them, and still gave birth to a trace of fear. The original blood seemed to be destroyed. It's a man, follow me. Yi Yixing opened his mouth and uttered a drink. Be the first, and do not hesitate to operate the congenital yin and yang eyes. Looked at the swarm of rats whizzing in front of him. Black and white rays change. Congenital yin and yang eyes, yin and yang lock. Yin and yang ring. 25 yin and yang locks shot out from their eyes instantly, and in front of them naturally disintegrated into 405 black and white yin and yang rings, flashing black and white treasures. I shot out in an instant, and fell directly towards the oncoming mice. Squeak! Lao Shu the rats screamed, and they were all wrapped around the body by the yin and yang ring. www.novelhall.com. The impact from the yin and yang ring instantly made all the murderous rats feel a kind of intense pain from the soul. The attitude of running wildly fell to the ground with a scream. Kill! Seeing Yi Tianxing, he didn't hesitate, strode forward, waved his left hand, and speared out a lightning spear. A spear pierced a murderous rat's head and killed him. The right-handed tang knife waved out, the sword light was like training, the true dragon's spirit poured into the blade body, making the blade of the cold mang flash like a magic weapon. He fluttered a knife, drawing a bright arc in front of him. 5 cruel rats were severed, and their heads were cut off directly, and blood spewed out. The smell of blood was all around. As soon as I shot, without any pause, the rats suppressed by the yin and yang rings screamed, kept rolling, and couldn't exert any strength at all. As long as they came forward, they could be killed. Yi Yishan stepped out step by step, wielding the war spear and the tang sword in his hands, and every time he inevitably took away the lives of a lot of monsters. That picture is like cutting vegetables. In the monster colony, walking in peace is like an outing. Wherever he went, he brought blood and rain. Like a peerless of war, he runs wild. This scene fell into the eyes of the soldiers behind. Suddenly, the expression of worship appeared on each face. Soldiers admire the strength and the strong. They admire only those who are stronger than themselves. Undoubtedly, Yi Tianxing at this moment is the strong one in their hearts. I can shoot out the yin and yang locks in my eyes, which can be transformed into hundreds of yin and yang rings. At once, the aggressive group of rats can be suppressed into soft-footed shrimp. A large number fell to the ground. This figure is like a demon. www.novelhall.com. Welcome the book readers to read. The latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all in. www.novelhall.com. Mobile users please to reading. Chapter 45. Famous for killing. For recommended collection. Close black lens bracket. All of them suddenly appeared in the new world, and, without home, no country, no loved ones, no friends, no generals, they were at a loss. But now seeing Yi Tianxing, seeing his demon-like means, his heart seemed to have a spiritual pillar for a moment, and the blankness in his heart was swept away, and a trace of frenzy appeared on his face. Kill! Follow Mr. Yi, kill! A soldier's eyes turned red, holding a long knife, and chopped down at a mouse suppressed by the yin and yang ring. Blood fell on his hands with his sword. The rats were stabbed to death with no resistance at all. These soldiers have all gone through special training and shots, and they are all fierce, especially the current mice. They simply fell in front of them without resistance, and they should not be too easy to kill. Kill, even if it is a monster, even if these mice are huge, they will still die, they will still be able to kill, and Lao Su will be treated as an enemy. Someone sneered with red eyes. Kill, don't let the people behind us belittle you. We are soldiers, and even if we don't have a home country, we have to be responsible for these defenseless people. To die, we also need to die in front. Who is afraid of dead birds? Quote. Shah, kill, not for others, but for us, to live, to have hope, to live to find loved ones, and to build a home again. Ming a soldier was completely inspired by the blood in his chest, and the **** smell in his nose kept the evil spirit in their chests rolling. Hundreds of soldiers followed Yi Tianxing, but more than 400 murderous rats suppressed by the yin and yang rings were beheaded to the ground in an instant, and the speed was unimaginable. Sui Jie, and with the death of those fierce rats, the yin and yang rings also returned to the eyes of yin and yang with a large number of mouse souls in the first time. Each soul is quickly refined by the innate yin and yang map in the yin and yang eyes, and merges into the sixth yin and yang lock, so that the original imaginary yin and yang rings quickly become entities at the speed visible to the naked eye, condensing into reality, bursts of light. In just a moment, half of the number of yin and yang rings were completely turned into reality. This unscrupulous plunder of the soul has great benefits for the growth of yin and yang eyes. But there are too many monsters. In the process of recovering the yin and yang rings, the mice behind have already been culled. Green-skinned monsters have already appeared. A mouse jumped straight up from the ground, and his claws fiercely scratched Yi Tianxing's throat. The speed is extremely fast. Ordinary people are afraid that it is difficult to avoid, but in the eyes of Yi Tianxing, every movement comes to mind clearly. When the mouse smashed over, the war spear appeared directly in front of the root it smashed. It was as if the rat slammed directly into the war spear, and was instantly punctured by the war spear through his head, and slammed the mouse's body on the ground. When the eyes swept away, the soul was pulled back by the cart, and the eyes were so deep that they swallowed in. Kill. Other soldiers also collided with the monster group at this moment, knife light, blood light shot. Someone was besieged by a few mice, and they were torn open with wounds. But these soldiers showed crazy colors on their faces, smirking and slashing the monster in front of them. Kill the monsters in front of you even if you change them for injuries. Completely kill bleeding. I know that in this case, fear is death. Desperate to survive, Shi Bing, a soldier, was trapped in the besiege of monsters. A dozen murmurs surrounded him, and the green-skinned monster smashed it by holding a wooden stick from one side. Desperate in an instant, there was madness on his face. When a mouse rushed over, he did not evade. He reached out and hugged it, biting it around the mouse's neck, and tore off a piece of meat with his teeth. The sword stabbed fiercely into the green monster's body. A big laugh came out of his mouth. Dead, that's enough. Even if it's dead, you'll have to pull a few backs. I died of war. Laughed, the body was directly torn apart by a dozen mice. Before his death, his body stood upright. Sting his spine, always strong. His head was lifted. There are no such soldiers. No one fled, no one flinched. There was only one thought in my heart, the one who killed him. Yin Yang Lock, Yin Yang Ring. Speaking slowly, it actually happened in the blink of an eye. The yin and yang rings reappeared, and the 405 yin and yang rings once again completely bound a large number of monsters around. Let all monsters have no resistance in front of humans. Kill. Behind me, there were adult men among ordinary people holding various tools, killing them crazy, killing monsters that fell to the ground. Pump with a flat load and smash with stones. His eyes were red. There was only one thought in the mind, and that was to kill these monsters. Even if you die, you must die in battle. Coupled with Yi Tianxing blocking in the forefront, the yin and yang ring is as powerful as a demon. As soon as it dissipates, it will immediately make a large number of monsters fall to the ground. It is an inspiration to morale and an inspiration to people huge. I have nothing to fear under the guidance of such a strong man. Even if you can't deal with the monsters in the heyday, the monsters that can be suppressed by the yin and yang ring can be killed directly without any fear. This also saves time for easy travel. Almost all the repressed monsters were killed within a few breaths with the yin-yang ring. Too many times faster than one's own shot. The yin and yang flew out, suppressing a group of monsters, and quickly bringing back souls. Then in the blink of an eye, he shot again. Suppressed again. Moreover, after a few passes, the sixth yin-yang lock was completely condensed into substance. The number of yin and yang rings that can be split again increased to 486. The speed of hunting monsters has increased again. I let the morale of the soldiers and the people behind Yi Tianxing be full of morale. Looking at the back of Yi Tianxing, there was a kind of fanaticism and awe. Supernatural powers like the yin and yang ring are too shocking for them. Many people have never heard of it, let alone see it. In the original world, such a person is a fairy among the people, who is extraordinary and distinguished, and is a guest of honor among the nobles in the court. I now see with my own eyes that shock is almost indescribable in words. There is only one thought in my heart, follow up and kill the monster. I have Yi Tianxing at the forefront. The congenital yin and yang eyes are constantly displayed. The yin and yang energy in the yin and yang eyes is consumed. Immediately urged with the true dragon's qi, a slaying and blood flow. I don't know how long it lasts. The monster that slammed into the valley, unknowingly, had been beheaded and killed, and the rest had disappeared. There was blood all over the valley entrance, and blood flowed into the river. Masses of monsters piled up on the ground. There are also human corpses, and soldiers died. It's just that dead humans are disproportionate to monsters at all. There is Yi Tianxing blocking the front. Their most dangerous is the period when the yin and yang ring was recovered. If there are not too many monsters, even death will not occur. Mr. Yi, walking in the sea of the dead mountains, a soldier and the common people panted heavily, and their eyes fell on Yi Tianxing. That light, with awe and enthusiasm, seemed to have regarded him as a spiritual sustenance. Obviously, the subconscious began to dominate with Yishan. How about the casualties? Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, slowly converging the black and white color in his eyes. In this killing, most of his vital energy was consumed, but the gain was huge. A large number of monster souls were refined. Not only the 6th yin and yang lot condensed, but even the 7th and 8th have been completely condensed. Today, in the yin and yang space, 8 yin and yang locks are constantly changing. Flashing light. 10 soldiers were killed and 23 heroes were killed. Many have received injuries of varying degrees. A soldier stepped forward and replied. There is a respectful look between you. He said that the casualties, all of them could not help but feel a trace of sadness. After all, it is human beings that die. On the battlefield, there will be casualties. The key is that the dead have no value. Now, they die and die well, they fight for their own survival, they fight for the old and weak women behind them, they fight for protection. Yu reading fights for the honor of soldiers. They are standing dead, even if they die, but the soul of the heroes will always exist. Forever with me. Death is not the end, but the beginning of another life. Quote. Qi Yishanxing came to the corpses of the war dead, looked dignified, bowed down, and said slowly. With this ceremony, the soldiers and the people around him looked at Yi Tianxing even more differently. There was a trace of identification, which was a feeling of being respected. The judge died for his confidant, and he died well, even if the sword and fire were up front, the morality was ahead, and he dared to break through. 2 people need respect. Yi Yishanxing respected the soldiers and the people who died in the war, and was also respected by other soldiers and the people. In their eyes, Yi Tianxing's strength and identity must be extremely noble. Being able to bow to the soldiers who died in the battle is a respect that has never been seen before. Mr. Yi, what do you do now? I listen to you. What you say is what? A burly man came forward and bowed, with sincerity on his face, blood on his body, and injuries. In the fight before, I also bravely moved forward, and also reached out well. Every knife is precise. He is one of the stronger soldiers among the soldiers. Yes, Mr. Yi, we all listen to you. Mr. Yi, only you can take us to a living path. I will not accept anyone else, I will serve you. The other soldiers and the people also spoke loudly. His face and eyes were extremely sincere, and their words came from the heart. I was very clear. For these people in the valley, the sand was scattered, and the monsters would come again, maybe they would all die. Only by being united can we have the chance to survive. Yu reading readers are welcome to come and read. The latest, fastest and hottest serial works are in Yu reading. Mobile users please read. Chapter 46, Be Indifferent. The people in the valley came from all over the world, and they are not familiar with each other. No one has such a powerful prestige that can unite all people. Arrive enthusiastically. This was the case before. But now they are different, they are convinced by Yi Tianxing. This prestige was killed, is from the unique style of Yi Tianxing. In the valley, there are nearly 1,000 people. Only Yi Tianxing dared to ascend to the heights and stood up directly to fully inspire everyone's blood. This courage is not what ordinary people can have. In the crowd, naturally, most eyes are gathered. At this time, after finding that the battle was over, ordinary people, old women, women and children nearby approached the battlefield. A pair of eyes fell on Yi Tianxing. There was fear in the eyes, there was awe, there was fanaticism. Although they did not participate in the previous killings, they have all witnessed nearby. Seeing the entire battle process, Yi Tianxing's revealed strength has even made them awed by heart. The subconscious began to think of him as the backbone and spiritual backbone. I now hear the words of these soldiers and the adults who have experienced slaughter. Stepped forward and said loudly, yes, Mr. Yi, we are all ordinary people here, we all come from different places, we do and know a few, we can come together, that is fate, but the snake has no head, and we need a leader lead us all to survive this troubled world. Now the outside world has changed. Only Mr. Yi can lead us to live. Quote. We are willing to respect Mr. Yi, and we listen to you. The chorus sounded continuously. At this moment, everyone will put their hopes on Yi Tianxing. After all, no one wants to die, and some people even have a mind that cannot be let go. Relatives, children, close friends. Even if it is scattered, as long as you live, there will be a day of reunion. Even if you see and reunite or have an accident, if you survive, you can pass on the incense. To live, no one wants to die. Xie Yan and Huang descendants are always so easy to meet, and when they see a glimmer of hope in despair, they will naturally seize everything. All they need is the hope to sustain themselves, the slightest possibility to survive. At this moment, they looked at Yi Tianxing as if they were seeing a flash of light in the darkness. I naturally want to gather around him. I heard Yi Tianxing, glanced around with a pair of hopeful eyes, and my heart also vibrated. The children of Yan and Huang and the children of Huasha always needed so simple. An invisible responsibility emerges from the body. I nodded flatly and said, okay, since everyone can see that I am easy to move, then I will be a benevolent and be the leader. For everyone, in this troubled world, take a chance and make a world. There is no home, then we use both hands to build our own home. If you have nothing to eat, use both hands to hunt and plant. As long as you live, there is hope. We are from south to north, from different countries, dynasties, different worlds, but we have black eyes, black hair, yellow skin, in this troubled world, in countless monsters looking around, in a world that has no order, everyone is a loved one of each other. Our brothers. They are family members. As long as we are united, we can create our own home. Create a better future that belongs to us. Quote. Yi Yixing said loudly. Every word is a direct attack on the deepest part of everyone. It is true that they come from different places, but now, in this era like the wild, when they meet together, they are relatives, brothers, and comrades in arms. One by one, looking at the strangers around him, their eyes also became friendly and became close, with smiles on their faces. That's right, we are all brothers and sisters. There are monsters and beasts everywhere. We are all human, we should be united. Listen to Mr. Yi, we can unite to make a living. Everyone has the same idea in their hearts, and Yi Tianxing makes sense. I also saw the situation outside. I can see very clearly. If I fight alone, I must die under the minions of the monster. Master, what are we going to do, please tell me. The burly man who spoke first asked. This was already the performance of Bai Yishan. What's your name? Yi Tianxing was impressed by him, killing monsters, very fierce. Fearless, he stands out among the soldiers. Back to the Lord, my name is Wang Dahu. The burly man replied immediately. The voice is loud and good. Okay, Big Tiger, these soldiers will be led by you for the time being, take the people, and converge the war dead, and gather them together. I have a treasure that can collect and bury their corpses and will not be destroyed by monsters and beasts. I will collect their corpses again. The corpses enter my treasure, their souls are immortal. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath and said flatly. Yes, Lord. Hearing Wang Dahu, there was an instant enthusiasm in his eyes. There was no doubt about Yi Tianxing's words. The ability that Yi Tianxing had shown before had already left a deep impression on them. Jamie, he said that, it must be really able to keep the corpse from being destroyed and the soul immortal. Other people heard that there was a fiery eye in their eyes, and their eyes were full of excitement. In this troubled world, if the body is buried, it may be picked up by monsters and beasts overnight, and even the bones will not be left. The fierceness of the mice, they saw in their eyes, and now Yi Tianxing can produce treasures, store the dead bodies of the war dead, protect the dead bodies from being destroyed, and the soul will not dissipate. This approach instantly made everyone's mind suspicious. Even if it is dead, it will not be buried in the wilderness. How does this elder call him? Yi Tianxing looked at a well-dressed, 50-year-old old man who looked pretty good, and looked good among the people, at least in terms of clothing, it has already demonstrated its status. Moreover, compared with the enthusiasm of other people who look at themselves, the old man's eyes carry praise and surprise. This attitude is no longer an ordinary old man. With Yi Tianxing's eyesight, it is naturally impossible to see. The old surname is Huang, the word Chengyan. I've seen Mr. Yi. The old man heard it, came forward slightly, and said calmly. Huang Chengyan. It turned out to be Huang Lao. Yi Tianxing heard, a flash of gleam in his eyes, then nodded and said, now that the monsters have just been killed, all the bodies are on the ground, there should be green monsters and mice. Unusual treasures need to be dissected by human hands. These can be dissected by Wang Dahu and soldiers. Green-skinned monsters cannot eat them, but these rats can eat meat. Quote. Everyone has no food source now. The meat of these mice can be made into dried meat, boiled into broth, and distributed to everyone. It can temporarily solve part of the food source. If you want strength, you must eat meat. Suo Yi, so, I want Huang Lao to organize everyone to help bury the rice and eat a full meal first. Wu Yishanxing said slowly, with a wave of his hand, 3 iron pots appeared in front of him. This was a special collection in the Lingju space before. I took 3 of them together. I didn't expect it to be like this now. But the picture of taking out the iron pot out of thin air in the eyes of many people is still full of shock. The act of taking things out of thin air is nothing more than a fairy-like means in their hearts. Mr. Yi said very well, Huang should do his best. Huang Chunyan heard and nodded his head. He was also very satisfied with Yi Tianxing's approach. There were many people in the valley. There were only a few of them with dry food. After so long, many people were hungry. It's the most important thing that people eat food and fill their stomachs. If you see and fill your stomach, whoever follows you. Drink Northwest Wind. He is a person who does big things, has the ability and the means. Dragons and snakes come out in troubled times. But look again. Huang Chunyan glanced deeply at Yi Tianxing, nodded secretly in his heart. Every move of Yi Tianxing, look in your eyes and remember in your heart. In the beginning, in the face of crisis, dare to stand in front of people, ascend to shout, and in a panic, gather people's hearts in an instant. www.novelhall.com. First soldiers, fighting with monsters and beasts, almost thousands of enemies, all enemies. The invincible figure has been imprinted in the hearts of all the people, and the prestige has risen. This first, strength, has been recognized by everyone. I now have to take everyone to eat meat and fill my stomach, so that people can see that following him, there is meat to eat, can eat enough food, can fill up his belly, and live. All must remember this kindness. This is ability. Such a person is definitely not something in the pool. Huang Chunyan thought to himself. Immediately, he began to organize other people to start cleaning the battlefield. The wounded were also sent to Guzhong for doctors to bandage. Huang Lao's ability is really good. Coupled with the instructions of Yi Tianxing, everyone said to Huang Chunyan, and did not hesitate to obey. The king of tigers began to sweep the battlefield with the soldiers. The green-skinned monsters dissected directly and found that nothing else was special in their bodies, but there was a section of green bones in the bones, which flashed a unique light. You can't cut that green bone with a knife. Knowing that they are treasures, they are collected. Moreover, it was quickly discovered that the locations where these green bones appeared were on both arms. This discovery greatly increased the speed of collection, without the need to dissect, and directly cut off the arm. And those fierce rats, with very sharp and hard teeth, are also good loot. Mole skin can be made into leather for heating and rat meat can be eaten. Many people have a kind of laughter from their hearts. Even the fear, worry, and separation of their loved ones, which were originally caused by accidents, are temporarily put aside. Now the most important thing is to live. www.novelhall.com. Welcome book readers to read. The latest, fastest and hottest serial works are all in. www.novelhall.com. Mobile users please read. Chapter 47. Village Order. Being able to eat and live is something to be happy about. Only alive can I do what I want to do. Everything is proceeding in an orderly way. The entrance to the valley has been scouted for surveillance. As soon as there is movement, you can come in and report immediately. At this moment, Yi Tianxing finally gets a little bit of leisure. I found a big rock and sat directly on it. I lifted my eyes and looked around. The shock in my heart was still undiminished. There was a sun hanging in the sky, shining on the four sides. The sun was bigger than the previous sun. I don't know how my parents are now. They were originally in the underground base. With the solidity of the base, they should be able to spend the first period of the disaster safely. I don't know if there will be any danger later. If they can survive in the end, then it is possible. There are only two possibilities for gaining great fortune and gaining the favor of the heavens, either by those mighty powers, immortal gates, and income gates, or they may flow into a certain area on the mainland today. Quote. To be honest, Yi Tianxing really hoped that Zhao's father, Zhao's mother, would be taken away by Shanman. Compared to the troubled times outside, and the situation near the wild days, Shanman is obviously more secure. Growing up is bound to be smoother. At least in the early stages, there is absolutely no danger. They are heavenly dependents, born with atmospheric fortunes, and those who receive celestials from heavenly gates are for their own atmospheric luck. If they accept heavenlies, their natural fortunes will increase. For the dependents, protection is too late. Therefore, we can get the best training in the safest growing environment. Xian, Shiru, Zidong, it is not necessarily a good thing for them to enter Shanman. Outside, it is too chaotic. Once in such an environment, maybe there will be some accidents. The dependents are not immortal. The body will also die. However, Shanman is not suitable for me in the end. Dragons and snakes are in troubled times, Shanman is too comfortable, and the mountain is closed. Only in such troubled times can I have a chance to show my skills. Quote. The ones who are killed in troubled times are the real strong ones. The world is wild, the beasts are lined, monsters run rampant, and the country is destroyed. In this era, as in the ancient tribal era, everyone has a chance, depending on whether we can seize it. Stand out. I do and know how many troubled times have come together. The founding fathers of each dynasty, countless strong men in major worlds, a large number of ambitious people will rise up. The troubled times are fertile soil for ambitious people. Quote. Yi Tianxing does not deny that he has ambitions. In troubled times, no one wants to make a great cause. Become a master, wake up to power, and lie on the knees of a beautiful woman. Moreover, the Dragon Heaven Classic, practiced by himself made him have to embark on a road destined to countless corpses. Royal Dragon Heavenly Sutra, Raising Dragon Spirit. This is bound to be a bright and cruel era. I was also the most fair time. There are no emperors, no families, no rules. As long as you have the ability, you can stand out. Can accomplish a great job. There is no nagging. The founding ancestors and emperors of each dynasty may come to this world, but they may be able to rise and grow up because of their luck, which is not determined by their original origin. It is possible that it has fallen before it has risen. He has died before he even emerged. This is doomed to be a cruel and **** era. The protagonists in many worlds may die anonymously without being famous. Not everyone can rise. But in such times, the blood in Yi Tianxing's body was secretly boiling. Come on, I will never be worse than any Tianzhao. Being able to fight with countless world protagonists, Tianzhao is really irresistible. Yi Tianxing murmured to himself secretly. The valley in front of him, the people from countless worlds, the people in the dynasty, is the foundation of his first growth. However, it seems that after the integration of the worlds, the rules of heaven and earth have changed. After killing these green-skin monsters and fierce rats, there is no condensed bead of will. What is going on? Is it because the fusion of the realms of the world as real all beings, whether they are humans or monsters, have completely become real life, whether they were born in a fantasy or not, now they have become real life. Quote. Yi Tianxing had discovered before that after killing the monster, there was no more Lizu. Obviously, this is a change that occurs after the heaven and earth have completed their transformation. In addition, the bones and treasures contained in the monster's body also need to be dissected to obtain it. Yi Tianxing speculated that the previous 7-day catastrophe was not only a disaster, but also the end of the old era, but also a great opportunity given by heaven and earth. As long as you have the courage to kill monsters, you can get treasures and get adventures. If you can catch it, you will get a harvest. But now, this opportunity is gone. Wish Lizu under normal circumstances, is no longer available. The idea of killing monsters to explode various treasures can also be said to be completely strangled. This is a world where fantasy and reality merge, and the rules have changed. This is the real world, not a game. But it contains the magical treasures of the fantasy world. After secretly pondering for a while, I thought of a large number of rare treasures that had been plundered in the Wanbao frenzy before, but there are thousands of rare treasures, all of which are stored in the spiritual pearl space. Until now, I have not had time to explore them. As soon as I thought, I couldn't help getting hot. Yi mind moved, the mind has entered the space of spirit beads. The entire space has been piled up. All kinds of materials, as well as exotic treasures, exist in the space. Fortunately, those treasures are in the state of light spheres, and the space occupied is not large, otherwise, there is really no way to put them all in. I'm really rich this time. Ji Yishanxing was also excited in her heart. Looking at each ball of light and feeling the message transmitted from the ball of light, the whole body was shaking, and the opportunity was unprecedented. Every bizarre treasure has incredible effects. There are so many strange treasures, even if Yi Tianxing saw it, it was a shock. This is really a great harvest. Well, there are such treasures. Suddenly, Yi Tianxing made a surprise sound in his mouth, his thoughts moved, the light flashed in his hand, and a light ball had fallen into his hand, then he crushed it naturally. A white gold token appeared in his hand. On the token, an ancient texture emerged on one side, interweaving the scenes of city walls, pavilions, street people, and traffic. Lifelike, like a beautiful picture scroll. As if you can see a bustling ancient city. On the other side, there is an ancient font Jian. There is such a strange treasure in the order of building a village. It is still a platinum order of building a village. Sure enough, illusions come, and the strange treasures gathered by the power of fantasy can really appear. There may be such a number of village building orders. No less. There may even be too many. Is this some kind of decision made by heaven? Quote, Yi Yishanxing held the village order, and calculated it in his mind as soon as possible. Wujian village order, this is something in the fantasy of the game, but was born of the power of fantasy. As long as you think about it, there is absolutely no such thing as one thing, it may be thousands or even countless. But this village order has good grades. There are 5 types of iron: black iron, bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. In the hands of Yi Yishanxing, a platinum village order was issued. With this village order, you can become the master of a village. This master of a village waits for the approval of heaven and earth. Has many rights. After the establishment of the village, they can continue to be promoted. Village, town, city, king city, imperial city, holy city, city, heaven. The construction of the village order was the first step in laying the foundation. Any ancient city is formed by the continuous promotion and expansion of the village. Whether you can be promoted depends on yourself. Moreover, the rank of the village order is nothing. How to operate and build is the key to promotion. But the rule in the eternal world, the village order, is orthodoxy. The beginning of the rampant forces began in the village. I thought of this, even if it was Yi Tianxing, I couldn't be excited. This order to build the village was like a ticket for hegemony in troubled times. With it, you can build your own foundation. With this development and growth, you can gradually become the hegemon between heaven and earth. This is the foundation of domination. Brush. When Yi Tianxing held the village order tightly, suddenly, in a distant area, a ray of light rose into the sky. There seems to be some unique power in the light, www.novelhall.com, but it is impossible to determine its specific location and direction. My name is Liu Bang, and Luoyang village is established today. I would like to bless all the people and hope that many talents can come to our village to discuss the great cause. A voice echoed in the void and passed the whole world, as if under the power of heaven and earth, spreading in all directions. Instantly make endless waves in the entire eternal continent. I don't know how many people, and a terrible storm came into my heart. Is there anything wrong, Liu Bang? Is it really the founding father of the Han dynasty? Didn't he die long ago? Where did this come from? Is it Liu Bang in other worlds? Someone almost bit his tongue, dumbfounded. Shouted. Han Gao's ancestor Liu Bang. Which era of Liu Bang? There are several Liu Bang in this. Someone secretly guessed. Liu Bang, Luoyang village, Han Gaozu. By Jinjian village order. The voice of eternal continent. This Liu Bang uses platinum village order. Yi Tianxing's eyes flashed. If there is no guess, this Liu Bang must be a legend. The founding king of the Han dynasty also used the platinum village order. Only Liu Bang had the luck to get the platinum village order. Can voice the eternal continent. If the black iron builds a village decree, it can only spread the voice to the surrounding area. And, there is only one such opportunity. This is an opportunity to become famous. As for the position of the other person to be determined by the sound of the light, that is absolutely impossible. Even within 100 miles, it is difficult to determine the exact location when you hear the sound. My name is Domineering, and today we will establish Badian village. You can bless the people around you. Another domineering voice reverberates in the void, www.novelhall.com, welcome the book readers to read, the latest, fastest, hottest serial works are all in, www.novelhall.com, mobile users please read. Chapter 48, Zhenwang Village. Domineering, who is it? Never heard of it. Someone mumbled in wonder. Fengyan, the world will be, domineering. People who came in the world heard it, and his face changed, muttering to himself. Shangba does not engage in world clubs, does not build ancestral gates, and builds villages. This is what it is about to do. My Zhao Kuangyan, the Kaifeng village is established today, and you are welcome to join us to create a foundation that belongs to us all. Another voice echoed in the void, which was Song Tezu's Zhao Kuangyan's voice. He built the village just like that, with the village name Kaifeng. I am Zhao Kuangyi, and today we are setting up Jinling village. We invite the talents from all directions to gather together. Another voice sounded in the sky. This is Zhao Kuangyi of Song Taizong. Hearing these two sounds of heaven, a strange look appeared on the faces of many people scattered all over the eternal continent. Legend has it that Song Tezu Zhao Kuangyan was poisoned by his own younger brother Zhao Kuangyi. These two people build a village at the same time. What is this? Will the two meet directly if they meet? Many people who know these two brothers have strange looks. However, that is to say, the eternal continent is too big. No one knows where the other party is waiting. As for the general of the minister of the Song dynasty, it is impossible to gather together. Here, there is no great Song. They are also not emperors. They only have the original aura of the emperor. Whether it can rise depends on the ability. Even if you are an emperor now, you really can't develop it. Maybe the little junk in the past can hang you. This is an age of ability. Shay no one can flick red lips to whom. But obviously, they still have some advantages. This is their own capital. My name is Zongjiao. Typing village is established today. We welcome like-minded talents to come to this village. I heard another sound of heaven. Suddenly is another famous celebrity. Later, a large number of sky sounds to build a village. However, those who can cover the entire eternal continent can only do so with a platinum village order. The number of people who secretly get a village order to build their own village is unknown. Difficult to estimate, unable to count. But those who can get the Platinum Village Order have all left wonderful figures in history, even the main characters in major worlds, Tianzhao level figures. It's interesting, the heroes fight for hegemony, the dragon and snake rise up, and the chaos prevails. This era is really interesting. Yi Yixing heard that the blood in his heart had begun to boil, the blood was rolling, and his eyes were brighter than ever. This is simply not felt in modern times. This is an era without rules. He fights with heaven, his fun is endless, he fights with man, his fun is endless. Holding the platinum decree, suddenly he got up, looking towards the valley. Shangu, this valley is huge, like a huge basin. Moreover, Yishan Bangshui, easy to defend and difficult to attack. Surrounded by mountains, you can block most attacks. In the early days, this was the ideal place to start. The river runs from south to north. The flow is endless. Moreover, these people, soldiers, are the best foundation. What they need now is a home where their hearts can be trusted. You guys, Qi Yishanxing came to the crowd and said, presumably, you all just heard the sound of sky from the void. Someone built a village, and it is not an ordinary treasure. Today, the realms of all realms are in harmony. Tianzhao, in countless worlds, has come together to integrate into the eternal continent, but no matter whether they were emperors or martial arts overlords, they are on the same starting line as me. Noble, we have no home and no country. Quote. Dan, but today, I will build a home that truly belongs to us. A village that belongs to us. When Yi Tianxing came before him, everyone's eyes had already focused on him, and now hearing what he said, he could not help showing his expectations. Want to see how he does it? Yi Yixing walked forward and walked towards the valley. The valley is vast and there is no way to go deeper. But nearby is a river. Wide vision around, already approaching the inner valley. After glancing at it, holding the village order, holding out the Tang sword, making a cut in his hand, blood stained the token red. The token absorbs blood like a sponge. Immediately, the volley flew up, emitting a fascinating light. Cover the whole body. Qi Yishanxing also felt as if he had entered a mysterious space. In this space, there was an empty space, but a plaque was suspended in front of him. The plaque is blank. Village name Xuanwang. As soon as the chanting voice came out, such as Jinko Yuyan, an invisible power appeared on the plaque, and it instantly turned into two huge ancient urns, Xuanwang. Brush. There was a flash of white light. Naturally began to spread around. Instantly cover the area of Fangyuan Sanli directly in white light. I am Yi Tianxing. Today, Xuanwang village is established. No matter everyone, all people are treated equally. In this troubled world, we will build a home together. At this moment, the entire eternal continent is famous. Eternal continent, I don't know how far away. In a mountain range, there is a waterfall, which flows down, and a village stands not far from the waterfall. The village is very leaky, only one mansion made of unknown wood is quite delicate, there is a set of other courtyards, one in and one out. There is a main room, a box room, a lower room, and a hall audience. There is no such thing as auspiciousness. Around the soldiers, people cut down trees and built houses. Various buildings were built around this mansion. Not far away, there is a wooden archway, which is also made of unknown wood, and it is completely integrated. It bears 2 ancient seals Loyang. In the front yard, a man wearing a gray robe, tall, with long hair and long face, and beautiful beard, with 72 sunspots on the left. It looked like a handsome man, aged 26, with a kind of suffocation on his body, but there was an emperor, a sword on his waist, and he looked up at the void, showing the attention on his face. Yi Tianxing, who this person is, can also get a platinum village order. It is definitely not a simple character. The eternal continent, the heroes together, I must build the Han dynasty again. Unfortunately, it is a troubled time. The former fame has already risen. It won't do much. But everyone is at the same level, and no one is better than others. I, Liu Bang, may not have no chance. Quote. Liu Bang muttered to himself. He has found that there was not much advantage in being an emperor before. Now, everywhere is barren and civilization does not exist. He wants to use his means, and there is no object for him. Moreover, because of its original identity, it may become a target in the eyes of many people. But it is also possible to gather a group of people and talents who are loyal to the Han dynasty. Of course, it is difficult to say how effective it is. The integration of Wanji and the proportion occupied by the Han dynasty is definitely not high. But there will definitely be some effects, as long as the first batch of subordinates are gathered. In the troubled times, there is no fear of others. In a world like this, whoever develops faster and who has greater strength depends on the accumulation of the early days. This is also the place where many emperors will directly spread the voice of the entire eternal continent. Otherwise, the Platinum Village Order does not have to spread the world, and can choose to keep silent and develop silently. Both have advantages. One can quickly gather a lot of information. The other can win in safety. It won't be the focus of the public. In such times, everyone has a chance. Not everyone can grow up. The former emperor may also die. The original lunatic may also become the overlord. In another village with little difference, Zhao Kuangyu, who was in his 20s, looked up at the void. His face was deep, and for a long time, he spit out a sentence. Xuanwang village, the dragon fights in the wild, its blood is Xuanwang. Fame can only play a certain role in the early stage. To grow and develop, we still need talents. A large number of talents can help me create a supreme foundation and an eternal continent. This is not as great as the previous Central China. Let's start the Song dynasty again. Quote. Yin Zhao Kuang Yin, his eyes are firm, and his fists are clenched firmly. As the founding king, he has a stronger mind than ordinary people. The ability to accept external things is also stronger. Moreover, he is not an ordinary person. In the eternal continent, there is only one Zhao Kuangyin. In the eternal continent, a well-known overlord, secretly turning his thoughts. Alas, it was all set aside for a moment, and now they are most concerned about how to grow their own village. This is a tribal village era. At this moment, in the valley, I only saw that the white light that filled the valley disappeared naturally. In front of him, a mansion made of unknown wood stands naturally on the ground. Yu reading sitting north facing south, it looks very atmospheric and simple. Not far away, an archway stands, and on the plaque, Xuanwang, 2 ancient fonts appear. This scene, in the eyes of many people and soldiers who fell in the valley, could not help but produce a strong shock. This shocking creation, like a miracle-like picture, is definitely a near subversive vision in my heart. It really is very human. Huang Chengyan looked at the bottom of his eyes and nodded secretly in his heart. Miracles, this is a miracle. There is no building just now, and now there is a mansion in this archway. This is the immortal means. Someone exclaimed. There was fanaticism in his eyes. Sure enough, Mr. Yi has the magical means. Following him, we can certainly rebuild our own home and live a better life. There is a look of expectation in the eyes of the people. This is a look of hope. Crackling. For a while, Yi Tianxing slowly walked out of the mansion. It's unusually tall in the sun. All of you, here is our future home, Xuanwang village. From now on, regardless of your origin, regardless of age, regardless of gender, as long as you are willing, it is my Yulong village villagers who support each other and live together in this troubled world. Xuanwang village, the dragon fights in the wild, and its blood is Xuanwang. In the troubled times, it fights out a home to settle down. Yi Tianxing said slowly. Meet the village chief, and we will have a family in the future. Everyone is a member of Xuanwang village. Wang Da who first came forward to meet him. Although he was 5 big and 3 thick, his head was not stupid. UU Reading readers are welcome to come and read. The latest, fastest and hottest serial works are in UU Reading. Mobile users please read. Chapter 49, Kian Tianchi. Please recommend collections, Brothers Give Some Power. Close black lens bracket. I had planned to hug Yi Tianxing's thigh before, and then followed by such strong men, to survive in troubled times. Now that a decision had been made, he planned to go all the way. Xuan Niang said that when serving as a soldier eating royal food, loyal to the court, and following the general, don't think too much, you can live. If you want to be loyal, you can't be half-hearted. You can get ahead. King Wang Dahu secretly thought. He listened and did the same. Now I still remember the words of my aging mother and choose to follow Yi Tianxing. Then you can concentrate on it. As time goes by, you can be trusted and you can stand out. Definitely will not treat yourself. Zhang in this troubled world, he can see very clearly that it is difficult to live on his own. I now see that Yi Tianxing once again showed a miracle-like means, forming a mansion and an archway out of thin air. When he saw that he was going to build a village, he immediately opened his mouth and showed loyalty. Such a move also gave Yi Tianxing a glance at Wang Dahu and made Wang Dahu secretly happy. This is an interesting person. Huang Chengyan saw that he couldn't help but pause on Wang Dahu, nodding his heart secretly. Being able to follow decisively at this kind of end, showing loyalty, and being able to leave an impression in Yi Tianxing's heart, will definitely not treat him in the future. At least, among the soldiers, Wang Dahu is the most active and impressed the most. Sui Jie with Wang Dahu's visit, all the soldiers and the people around him bowed without hesitation and said, "Meet the village chief. In the future, we will all be from Xuanwang village. This is our homeland. It's great, Xuanwang village, and it will be our home in the future." Everyone's excited body was shaking. Xuanwang village, this is where we need to protect in the future. This is the home, even if it is a life-saving, you must not let Xuanwang village be destroyed. Some soldiers clenched their fists with firm eyes. Shang Huang Chengyan only gave a small gift, reached out and stroked his beard, and nodded his head. There is already a hint of recognition in his eyes. In a troubled world, it is extremely difficult to have a home. When you have a home, you have a spiritual trust and you have a goal for it. Huang Lao, after everyone has eaten, you will organize an adult man to cut down trees and build houses. When logging, let several soldiers protect the safety. No one knows what is dangerous outside. Women, dry the rat skin. You can warm up at night. Xuanwang village was first built, but Huang Lao needs to take more care. Yi Tianxing said to Huang Chengyan with a smile. The village head is polite. Huang is also a member of Xuanwang village. If he leaves here, he will die in the hands of the beast monster for a while. He also thanked Mr. Yi for protection. Other things may not be possible, but these are within his ability. The little things can still be arranged. Quote. Huang Chengyan nodded and promised. It is also necessary to count the talents with special skills among the people. Now that there are hundreds of wastes pending, it is necessary for all parties to build our own Xuanwang village. Yi Tianxing said again. Old age has this meaning. Huang Chengyan nodded. Well, I'll give it to Huang Lao here first. Yi Tianxing nodded with a smile, then turned back to the mansion. This mansion is a building naturally given by the village order. This is a means of creation. In addition, the grades of the village order are different, and there is a gap between the quality of the attached mansion and the nature of the platinum village order. However, this is just a mansion. The inside is empty, with only the most basic house frame, the items and decorations in it, all of which are not needed, and need to be added a little later. I walked through the front yard to the lobby, which was also very empty, with only a chair on top. Wu Yishan walked over and sat down in the chair, and then the whole body disappeared strangely. When it appeared, it was already in a mysterious space. It was empty all around, but a small pond appeared in front of him. The pool is not large, only 3 feet in size, and in the pool, there is an elusive spring eye. It seemed to communicate the mystery in the meditation. The slight gray gas gathered in the spring's eyes, and then a drop of gray liquid emerged and fell into the pond, at this moment. In the pond, only 1 inch of gray liquid was present. The gray liquid emerging from Quan's eyes was not very fast, nor was it a lot. There was only a thin layer at the bottom of the pool. It is 9 feet high, which is 3 meters deep. In this pond, you can see that there is a golden carp swimming. This golden carp is just a small fry. Although there is little water in the pond, it can temporarily feed the small golden carp. Yi Yishanxing looked at the little golden carp. A strange induction came into the eyes. This golden carp seems to be inseparable from itself and contains a mysterious connection. Wow! The small golden carp also seemed to see the arrival of Yi Tianxing, swimming cheerfully, stirring up a layer of water in the pond. She also went out of the water and looked at Yi Tianxing carefully, with joy in her eyes and Confucian admiration. This is Qian Tianqi, the spirit of Qian golden carp. Yi Yixing took a deep breath and looked at the pool in front of him. My heart was shocked. Xuan Shi when building a village with the order to build a village, some messages also came into mind. The village building order does not bring the qualifications for building a village. Anyone can build a village. As long as someone, tools, gather a group of people, cut down trees, build houses, and gather together, that is a village, but this village cannot be compared with the village built by the village order. Zui, the most important thing is that the village building order brings a mysterious treasure Qian Tianqi. I am the pool in front of me. It is the Qian Tianqi born from the village order. It is the core of the whole village. Qian Tianqi can be said to be the root of the village. With Tianqi in it, you can gather Qian and condense the power of intangible Qian into Tianqi. The golden carp is the spirit of Qian. This is caused by Yi Tianxing's essence and blood had already recognized the Lord when he was born. This means that the Qian in Tianqi belongs to Yi Tianxing. This luck is the luck of Xuanwang village. As the master of Qian, the head of Xuanwang village, Yi Tianxing can get Qian blessing and get 3 times the usual practice speed. This is a huge advantage. Air transport Tianqi, the spirit of air transport. To increase air transport, we must continue to grow Xuanwang village, develop the village thoroughly, and gather a lot of talents in order to obtain a large number of air transport. Operation, development is the accumulation of air transport no one can gather to Qian for nothing. As long as the Qian can fill the entire Qian Tianqi, it will be transformed and promoted. From the village, promoted to the ancient town. Qian is stronger. Qian blessing is even greater. Quote. Yi Yixing took a deep breath, his eyes flashed. This is the path of spiritual practice. The benefits inherent in are too great. You can't say anything about luck for the time being. This is a secret that only the owner of the village can grasp. A decision was made almost immediately in my heart. The existence of Qian Tianqi cannot be said for the time being. The relationship inside is really terrible. If the village is ruined, the way of luck will be completely ended, and this road will be completely impossible to follow. Fortunately, luck is power, the people are the foundation, living and working is fertile soil, and luck is the fruit. Zunjin gave Wanman a happy land. Wanman reported the king with luck. Bad luck is the heart. Watching the gray gas transported water in Qian Tianqi, the concentration in Tianqi constantly increased. This process is very slow. The spirit of Qi Yun is to be raised. It is not food that is to be eaten, but to be conceived with Qi Yun, so that this golden carp can grow and transform from seedlings. Follow the development of Xuanwang village to grow and grow. There are no talents or helpers in the hand. If Li Zhilin had not dispersed before, he should be able to help, but now he doesn't know where he is. However, as a family member, in general, as long as it is not a matter of mind or if you encounter something too terrible, you should be able to survive. He should have heard about the establishment of Xuanwang village. There will be time for reunion in the future. Quote. I signed a contract with Li Zhilin and had a wonderful feeling with him. I dare not say anything else, but at least it is certain that he is absolutely alive and has not died. As for whether he can survive in the future, it depends on his own ability. No one can help him with this. You can only rely on yourself. Although there are nearly 1,000 people in Xuanwang village, www.novelhall.com, they still seem too chaotic. They have not completed statistics and settled their homes. All of these take time to carry out. The key is talent, which requires a lot of people. Talents with the ability to manage and coordinate. If not rectified, so many people will come together sooner or later, there will be problems. Quote. If you want to say talents, Huang Chengyan is obviously one. With that kind of attitude, the arrangement and scheduling of personnel can be done in an orderly manner. This is not something that an old man can have casually. Huang Chengyan, he didn't do his best and didn't fully recognize me. People who are capable are not so easy to loyal and trust. It is also because they live in Xuanwang village and work for their own survival. I don't know if he is the famous man in legend. Quote. In Yi Tianxing's impression, his name is Huang Chengyan, and there should be only one celebrity with extraordinary magnificence. However, it is not clear whether this is a fusion of various realms. It is not a problem to pop up a person with the same name anywhere. And, obviously, he didn't do his best. This point, from some things, Yi Tianxing opened his mouth and said that he would do it. Otherwise, if he really has the ability and sincerely accepts allegiance, many things need not be said at all, and he will do it on his own initiative. Take the initiative to show your talents. However, if you are a talented person, it will certainly not be a few words to make people sincerely trust. Now it is a surprise to be able to do something. Yi Tianxing never thought that he was really Wang Baji's energy, and he was able to accept the talents casually. I don't even think that any talented person will kneel down and bow to him when he sees himself. www.novelhall.com. Welcome the book readers to read. The latest, fastest, and most popular serial works are at www.novelhall.com. Mobile users please read. Chapter 50. Aeolus Pterosaur. Monday, please recommend collection. Close black lens bracket. That is dreaming, that is simply unrealistic. If this is the case, then it will really reach a certain height in the future, and its status will reach an unthinkable level for ordinary people. Only then will some talents come to the mountain to take refuge, at that time, because they already have the value to be invested. Can give them the status, fame, strength, etc. they want. The world is all for the good. Now I don't have any capital for others to rely on. Why should others be loyal to him? I really want to bow down and worship. Then Yi Tianxing has to wonder if the other party's purpose is pure. Is there any other intention or something? Of course, like Wang Dahu, Yi Tianxing will not accept any hesitation. The ancients were not modern, and their minds were not so complicated. They don't need much, alive, dignity. This is the difference made by the environmental impact received in the mind. This is the ancient people. If the original modern humans worshipped, they would never believe it. Li Jilin has not signed a contract, and he will never trust him. If Huang Lao really is loyal, I really have something that has great appeal to him. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, and there was a touch of light in his eyes. He groaned secretly. The thousands of different treasures I got this time are not a joke. The treasures contained in it, even if Yi Tianxing wanted to laugh. I glanced at Yunqi Tianqi again, and with a moment of thought, my figure had reappeared in the lobby, still sitting on that chair. Ah, strange bird, run away, hide away. What a big bird, lie on the ground, don't move. Ah, Shalwa was arrested. Hurry up, go to the village chief, please Mr. Yi. Bow and arrow, shoot them with arrows. 2 dogs are caught, come on. At this moment, there was a chaotic scream and screams from outside. A soldier had rushed in, came to the lobby, and immediately after seeing Yi Tianxing, he said, Master, it's not good. A strange bird came from the outside, rushed into the valley, and flung down to catch people. God, someone has been torn to pieces. Quote. Gasping as he said, is there a strange bird? Let's go, Yi Tianxing heard, and suddenly hesitated in his heart. This is not a joke. Now there are dangers everywhere. No one knows what monsters are around, and what kind of fierce beasts exist. But obviously, when the troubled world begins, it is the most dangerous and has the most disasters. Fusion, no one knows the monsters, beasts, and birds in other worlds suddenly change to a new environment, and they will definitely become panic and become more violent. This is a pretty brutal era. I didn't hesitate, rushed out of the mansion, and as soon as I came outside, I heard an exclamation sound. A large number of people lie directly on the ground, their bodies are shaking. Looked up at the sky. He only saw a huge strange bird hovering in the air. Each one is a spreading wing with a height of 10 or 20 meters. Under the meat wing, there are long cricket claws. When the meat wings are opened together, they can be torn to pieces on the spot. With one mouth, a large piece of flesh is swallowed into the mouth. When Yi walked out, he just saw a woman being picked up by a strange bird, and he was forced to die in the midair. The blood turned into blood rain, and it was directly sprinkled. I fell on my face. The blood is hot, and the heart is cold. Some soldiers took out bows and arrows and shot at the strange birds, but even if the arrows appeared in front of the strange birds, just waving the flesh wing, they brought up a strong wind, and the arrows were blown directly without power. Falling from the air, there is no threat to it. The strength is simply not enough. Function pterosaur. After seeing Yi Yixing, she couldn't help but feel a little shock, and exclaimed in her mouth. This is an extinct dinosaur, function pterosaur. Overlord in the sky, human beings are prey before it. The huge body and the pressure brought by it are absolutely unimaginable. When the wind blows down, the wind pressure will bring a blast of sand and stones to the ground. I can't even open my eyes. This is a creature standing at the top of the food chain. When I saw this function pterosaur, even if it was Yi Tianxing, I felt a headache, but then it was a kind of strong anger. This pterodactyl is hunting for the villagers of Xuanwang village. That is, killing his people. I just promised to lead everyone to build their homes and live as much as possible in this troubled world. If now this pterosaur hunts and kills the villagers and remains indifferent, I am afraid that the hearts of the newly gathered people will be completely lost. Fight! I must kill this pterosaur and stay here. Boo-how! No, the strange bird is here again, everyone be careful. Someone exclaimed. Kill! Yi Xingxing quickly took out the composite folding bow from the Lingju space, opened the bow and formed the arrow in one go. The arrow was a fine steel arrow, and the battle bow instantly became a full moon. Huh! The iron arrow is broken, the cold light flashes on the iron arrow, and the air is permeated with it, making the iron arrow as a sharp weapon of the magic soldier, extremely sharp. The speed of emptying was as fast as lightning, and it was shot towards the function pterosaur that flew down. Moreover, the position where the iron arrows are facing is exactly the position of the pterosaur's chest. In the process of slamming down, it seemed as if the body was directly hitting the iron arrow. What a sky overlord, a predator who was born at the top of the food chain, felt a huge threat at the moment of Yi Tianxing's shot. A strong breath of death, almost instinctively flung the meat wings toward the iron arrow. Powerful, the strong wind rolled back under him and hurled towards the iron arrow, but the power contained in the iron arrow was too great. Even the strong wind could not completely change its flight trajectory, but it only slowed the speed of the iron arrow breaking through. Gee, but it's just that this is slow. For pterosaur, it can already make some evasion. The body turned sideways, letting the iron arrow slant across the chest, only torn a wound in his chest, but did not penetrate the body completely. Spilled with blood. Huh! The pterodactyl made a strange noise and looked extremely angry. Looking at Yi Tianxing, he has completely hatred. The flesh wing waved directly towards Yi Tianxing. On that flesh wing, a blue light flashed, followed closely, and then saw a gust of wind sweeping across. In the strong wind, you can see that the cyan wind blades are flashing with an aggressive edge. There are dozens of them, contained in the wind, as fast as lightning. Everyone flash away. Seeing Yi Tianxing, his face changed and he shouted loudly. The other people didn't need to be reminded at all, and fled out without hesitation. But the gale came too fast, and the faster the ordinary people responded, the more they couldn't get past the speed of the gale. Puff puff. What? Gee, in a series of screams, 4 ordinary people have been cut into 2 sections by the wind blade contained in the wind, and died unwillingly. Damn, congenital yin and yang eyes, yin and yang locks, suppress me. Ji Yixinxing's face showed anger, and his eyes instantly turned black and white. A divine light burst out. Howling, 8 yin and yang locks appeared at the same time. Each one flashed a black and white halo, and in the shaking, a crisp sound was transmitted, and that sound seemed to be able to impact the soul. The sound wave spread in the air, sweeping towards function pterosaur like a paean. But before him, the wind has come to him. The bow and arrow in the hand has been directly collected into the space of Lingju, replaced by war spears and tang swords. The royal dragon Tianjing runs, a stream of true energy travels through the meridian channels, and is instantly infused into the war spear and tang sword, making the war spear and tang sword more tenacious and sharp. There seemed to be infinite power in the arm. Kill. Gaze directly caught the wind blade that swept away, and between the arms, the war spear and the wind blade had directly bombarded together. Huge power was transmitted from the wind blade, and the wind blade was very sharp. If it was not infused into the war spear, I was afraid that the war spear would be cut open by the wind blade at the moment of confrontation, but now, it is let the consumption of vitality consumes most of it, so he is unwilling to collapse under the spear. The consumed energy is directly added back in the next moment. Ding 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 ding. The battle spear waved, the tang sword slashed, and he opened the bow from side to side. He constantly cut off the wind blades contained in the wind, but the wind blades were too fast and there were too many. 2 wind blades fell on the body. I fell on my thigh, cut a wound, and cut my shoulder across, www.novelhall.com, and cut a piece of meat from my shoulder. This is the dangerous place to face magical powers. Even so, when the wind blade is cut in succession, the true energy in his body is consumed a lot. Almost half have been lost. Wow! In the sky, 8 yin and yang locks swept across in all directions, blocking every space to avoid. Like a large net, it appears directly outside the function pterosaur, and the speed is also extremely fast. Moreover, the iron chain vibrates and the sound transmitted can impact the soul, even the pterosaur, and the sound of 8 iron chains simultaneously. There was a hint of dullness. I was so dumbfounded that for a moment, the yin and yang lock had fallen on my body. The tadpoles are directly tied to the neck, some are directly tied to the meat wings, and some are tied to the legs. There was a direct beating on the back of the pterosaur. Although the deterrent power of the yin and yang lock is far less threatening to the undead, the ghost, the zombie and the undead, it still has a role, especially the impact on the soul, which falls on the body, and the entire soul is shaking. Pterosaur screamed and fell straight from the sky. Smashed to the ground and smashed the ground into a pit. Dead. Before waiting for the pterosaurs to react, Yi Tianxing had appeared in front of pterosaurs at the fastest speed. A pour of innocence poured into the war spear, the spear tip flashed cold, and all the forces in the arm completely exploded. The war spear appeared in front of the pterodactyl, and a spear pierced the pterodactyl's neck. Blood eruption. The pterodactyl was awakened in severe pain, feeling the passing of life, his eyes were more fierce, and his sharp beak pecked down at Yi Tianxing's head. Before dying, let the enemies in front die together. www.novelhall.com. Welcome the book readers to read. The latest, fastest, hottest serial works are all in. www.novelhall.com. Mobile users please read. Chapter 51. Arrow Tower. Ding. Feeling the danger, Yi Tianxing almost subconsciously lifted the tang sword, blocked it in front of him, and hit the bird's beak directly. A horrifying force was passed from the sword. The tang sword flew away and hurriedly. The true energy poured into the blade could not compete with the force erupted in the bird's beak, but it also blocked the bird's beak, and the foot immediately burst backwards. The bird's beak slid across its chest and landed directly on the ground. A deep pit appeared on the ground, 3 feet deep. Once it fell on the body, it would definitely be pecked directly through the chest and killed on the spot. If I hadn't just subconsciously blocked it with a tang knife, I was afraid that I would really die. If you don't die, you will be seriously injured. It's dangerous. It is indeed the overlord in the sky, the top predator in the wild, and the pterodactyl from the Jurassic and other worlds. It should have no magical power, but it can be immediately integrated into the eternal continent. Awakening fate, birth talent is amazing. It's really a talent. It's definitely not just an example of this situation. This world is really going to be a wild era. Quote. Yi Tianxing couldn't help taking a sip of cool air, and his heart was beating fiercely. This is just the beginning. The more behind him, countless beasts and monsters exist in various areas between heaven and earth. For humans, it is definitely a ***** in another cruel journey. Fight with fierce beasts, fight with monsters. Mao Rumao drank blood, walked out, without strength, he could die at any time. In the process, you will die as a result, and it is absolutely difficult to count. Only by establishing a village and working together with each other can we survive in this cruel world. In such a large environment, to go out, we must be prepared to give our lives. Master, are you okay? Wang Dahu and his soldiers appeared behind Yi Tianxing, looking at the huge pterosaur corpse in front of him, and his eyes were horrified. In their impression, they had never seen such a huge one. Fierce bird. I can blast winds and chop people directly into sections. It is cruel to the extreme, like the legendary beast. If it were not for Yi Tianxing, I am afraid that the entire Xuanwang village may be completely killed by this pterosaur. This picture is terrible. I'm fine. This strange bird is called function pterosaur. It is a predator in the sky. You can't deal with it for the time being, but if you work hard, even a beast can fight. I will pass it on to you, La. Everyone can become strong, and everyone can kill ferocious beasts. He has the power to guard our Xuanwang village. Yi Tianxing saw a kind of shame and a kind of weakness from the eyes of Wang Dahu and those soldiers. As a soldier, he could not protect the villagers in Xuanwang village when he was in trouble, which made them extremely uncomfortable. Delirious as a soldier. Alas, Yi Tianxing doesn't blame them. Although they are stronger than ordinary people, in the end they are ordinary soldiers and soldiers who came from all over the world and in various dynasties. Although they have experienced certain training, they have not really cultivated. This is, at present, better than normal people. It's not much better, and it's not enough to fight in front of the beast. Please ask the protagonist to give the cultivation method. King Wang who is unwilling to be a waste. He also needs the protagonist to protect him. In this case, he might as well take off his military uniform and become an ordinary people. Wang Dahu faced Yi Tianxing with shame, knelt down on his knees and shouted. Okay, the people in Xuanwang village must have an unyielding temperament. Even if you don't ask for it, I will give it to you. I have advanced exercises, and I have top exercises, but I can't give you the best practice methods at once. But as long as you work hard, as long as you continue to make achievements and continue to accumulate combat skills, you will have the opportunity to obtain deeper practice methods. Quote. I heard Yi Tianxing, I nodded my head, Wang Dahu, they can have this mood, it is quite good. Only with self-motivation and shame can we have the motivation to become stronger. For Wang Dahu, they have long decided to give the exercises. They are not strong, how to protect Xuanwang village. He is the head of Xuanwang village, but he is not a nanny. The entire village needs everyone to work together to become stronger. Thank you Lord. When King Wang heard that, he grinned immediately, and looked more respectfully at Shang Tianxing. In the Wanbao torrent, more than 1,000 exotic treasures were obtained. The treasures are not only treasures, but also have high and low grades, strange things, elixir, even magic soldiers, and even exercises. I won't just get one or two. The number of exercises is also high or low. There are no small differences in counterfeit ranks, but they can be obtained, even if they are extremely lucky. We cannot expect that every piece is a peerless fetish. Among them, Gong Fa is a treasure most needed by many people. Gongfa is the foundation for strengthening. The exercises in his hands are suitable for the training of soldiers such as Wang Dahu. The exercises that Yi Tianxing intends to give directly are obtained in the Wanbao torrent, called Iron Blood Shiki, which is a practice suitable for all soldiers. What I thought about was, Iron and Blood map. For soldiers, the easiest way to get started, especially for soldiers who have experienced the killing battle, there is already evil spirit in the body, getting started is very easy, there are almost no thresholds. But to continue to cultivate, and to stand out and become a strong one, you need to rely on your own efforts to achieve it. Wait a minute, I will set up a library in the mansion. I will put it in the library, you can go to collect it, but what you can cultivate now is only Iron Blood Shiki, which is also best for you cultivation now. Only by constant killing can it become stronger and stronger. It is suitable for military training, and it will be the most basic practice for all soldiers in the future. Everyone can cultivate. Quote. Yi Yixing said with a smile. Xie Zugong, Wang Dahu and others heard with smiles on their faces, as did other soldiers. Anyone who is unhappy with the opportunity to become stronger depends on his own ability in the army. It's a very big strange bird. Now the outside world seems to have completely changed. The damage caused by such a foul is really too great. Huang Chunyan also appeared in dignity in front of the pterosaur's body. Obviously, such strange birds and frightened birds also deter him. This has never happened in his previous world. Only monsters found in Shanhai Jing. This is function pterosaur. Although it is strong, it will kill me, no matter how strong, I will kill the villagers of Xuanwang village. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath and looked at the people around him, saying flatly. He said with determination in his voice. People cannot help but develop a sense of trust. The pterodactyl body in front of my eyes is proof of this sentence. This sentence deepens the recognition of Yi Tianxing by the people around, which can be seen from the respect in the eyes. The sense of belonging to Xuanwang village has also become stronger. Even fierce birds such as pterosaurs can be killed. Only such strong ones can bring them a stable life. I also realize that the danger of this world is completely different from the original perception. The whole world has changed completely. It is as if it was a barren era that human ancestors faced in ancient times. A lot of people have an unusual light in their eyes. Village chief, just once a function pterosaur appeared, then there may be a second and a third, maybe different species of venomous birds, and the venomous birds in the sky are really too big for Xuanwang village. Only with the strength of the village chief alone, there will be boundless situations. Once that happens, there will be a major loss. It is considered that the defense force of Xuanwang village must be strengthened, and the bow and arrow battalion must be established to train the marksmen. Quote. Huang Chunyan frowned slightly and suggested to Yi Tianxing. Well, Huang Lao, rest assured that Yimao has a way to deal with the threats in the sky. Huang Lao, please look at it. Yi Tianxing said with a flash of light in his hands. In the palm of his hand, 2 small and exquisite arrow towers appeared. The tower cast from unknown stones is the tower above. On the tower, you can see the cricket crossbow, which has a crossbow box specially filled with crossbow. As soon as the crossbow is fired, the crossbow contained in the crossbow box can be wound quickly and fire again. At first glance, I know that this is definitely not mortal. This is a different treasure, a strange treasure born from Fantasy Arrow Tower. What is this? Please ask the village chief to make it clear. Huang Chengyan saw the small and exquisite arrow tower appearing in front of him and looked at the extraordinary light. www.novelhall.com, instinctually felt that this is absolutely nothing. It looks like an arrow tower, but it is very different. This is an arrow tower, a strange treasure bred from heaven and earth. As long as it is placed in Xuanwang village, you can defend the quartet and attack any beasts and monsters that have invaded Xuanwang village, especially the birds in the sky, can be covered within the attack range. However, this arrow tower can only defend the impact of some beast monsters, and the frequency of attack will not be too high. This is only an arrow tower with a yellow rank. It cannot deal with monsters that are too powerful. Quote, this arrow tower is good, but it is in the most primitive state. The lowest level, the first rank of Huang Ti, is equivalent to the first combat power of Shanhai. Once it reaches the top rank of Huang Ji, it can shoot most of the gods, the monks at the sea level, and even the monsters. The arrow tower needs to grow by hunting and killing monsters, ferocious beasts, and even monks, capturing flesh and bones, integrating it into the arrow tower, and letting the arrow tower grow. However, hunting can only make the arrow tower grow to Huang Ju Ju Pin, and then continue to transform. You need unique treasures. Rumble. Throw the arrow tower with Yi Tianxing. A drop of blood was incorporated into the 2 arrow towers, allowing him to create a strange connection between the arrow towers. The fall of the arrow tower also integrated with the entire Xuanwang village. Appeared around Xuanwang village archway. As soon as it fell, it was connected to the ground in an instant, and the wind was long, and it was 7 meters high in an instant. The stone tower is natural, and there are a lot of crossbow ballistic windows in the tower. Standing in the tower, the battle crossbow can rotate on its own, hitting the area, covering 360 degrees. I stand upright, simple and simple. www.novelhall.com, welcome the book readers to read. The latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all in. www.novelhall.com, mobile users, please read. Chapter 52, Scripture Court. For recommended collection, close black lens bracket. The towering body gives a strong sense of security. It's magical. Even if I had seen the birth of Xuanwang village before, now I see it again. Huang Chengyan still feels magical and incredible. Secret thinking. The previous thinking, cognition, really need to change. Need to accept new things. Otherwise, it will be eliminated by this era. These 2 arrow towers can definitely bring great security to today's Xuanwang village. Nowadays, many people look at the arrow tower, and their eyes are settled. The panic caused by function pterosaurs has disappeared, at least not as scared as before. Village, let the old man come and bandage you. The 2 doctors who had looked after Yi Tianxing when he was in a coma before came quickly, carrying a medicine chest, took out a bottle of gold sore medicine, and fell down on the wound. Thank you, doctor. I don't know the old names of the 2 elderly people. Yi Tianxing was sitting on a big rock and asked the 2 doctors to bandage. Now he does not have the ability to heal the wound quickly. Looking at the 2 old men in front of him, he asked softly. Dr. Yun, doctor, in this age of chaos, but baby. The village chief said a lot. His old surname is Chu Weiming. The gray-haired old man said with a smile. The old surname is Wang Function. Another old man answered quickly. I said, while quickly bandaging, Yi Tianxing is a practitioner. Even if there is a wound on his body, he can still control the surrounding muscles and prevent the wound from bleeding too fast. After the medicine was applied, the bandage was fast. It turned out to be Chu Lao and Wang Lao, and the second old man had a good heart. I wanted the second old man to set up a medical museum in the village to help the people in the village to heal the injuries. However, Xuanwang village was first built, and it was only possible to provide some medicines for the time being. There is no way to give the second old money, Yi Tianxing said. The village head is polite. The village head set up Xuanwang village, letting me wait for a place to settle down. It is no longer easy to live in a troubled world. Money is beyond the body, and now it is useless. What are we going to use? This is the insignificant medical skill that can be taken. After the medical hall is built, we will go to the clinic. Quote. Chu Weiming said with a smile. I didn't mean to refuse at all. At this time, it is the most important to show your ability to build Xuanwang village together. Money has been scrapped here, and the old money is now even more impossible to circulate. Besides, in the village, everyone can eat together, can they still be hungry? What's more, the establishment of medical museums will enhance their status and status. At this point, they understood it. The wound was soon bandaged, and the two doctors also started to bandage the other injured people. The dead body also began to converge, and the atmosphere was a little dull. Everyone. Yi Tianxing looked at the people around him and screamed. Get everyone around to focus. Among you, have you read a book? Can read and write? Yi Tianxing asked. Cow, it is obvious that Huang Chengyan alone cannot quickly plan the major functions in the entire village. Let the village really run and form. More special talent is needed. Even if there is no talent, it is good to have a skill in hand. Village chief. Students have read books and passed the test. A thin man, wearing a robe with patches on his robe, had a sense of book life on his body, but at a glance, he was a poor scholar. The family was definitely not rich before. After looking at Yi Xingxing, she already had a slight impression in her heart and nodded, dare to ask Mr. Gui's surname. Don't dare to be called Mr. Xiaokei's surname Jia Yukan. The scholar answered quickly. Well, wait for a while, you will follow Huang Lao, count the villagers in Xuanwang village, register and make a register. The most important thing now is to register all the people, and to rectify the population. This point, now it is best done. It will be extremely difficult if we wait for the future population to be counted again. The sooner you clean up, the better. If you want to build Xuanwang village well, these are the keys. Even the smallest things may have a profound impact. Jia Yukan heard a flash of excitement in his eyes. This was a great opportunity to show his face in front of Yi Tianxing. He secretly decided. This time, he must do things properly and leave a good influence in front of the village head. Will be very promising. Maybe there is a chance to skyrocket. Shu quickly bowed and agreed. You village must do things well. After registering and making a book, present it to the village chief. Dear folks, Xuanwang village was first built, which is our common home. Now we are more likely to face all kinds of monsters, attacks at any time. This is our home, and I hope everyone can take care of it this home. The current army needs to be expanded. It is hoped that capable young men can sign up for the army. Quote. Can participate in the army and enter the army, you can practice the military methods and combat skills. Gain the ability to protect yourself and protect Xuanwang village. Make yourself stronger. Of course, if you don't join the army, you can also cultivate. In a troubled world, you can only survive if you become stronger. I will set up a Tibetan scripture cabinet in the village. It will put in some of the exercises I collected. As long as I am a villager of Xuanwang village, I can enter the Tibetan scripture cabinet and get practice exercises in it, but everyone can only get it for free. Get a practice exercise and a martial arts combat skill for free. If you want a better practice method, you need to pay a price and do great work. Quote. I hope that in my Xuanwang village, everyone can become a practitioner and can fight for their own survival. In the past, we were all ordinary people, oppressed by the family, oppressed by the court, and persecuted by the power, but now in the eternal continent, at least at this moment, there is no power, no family, no court, everyone is standing on the same foundation. This is the worst era, with fierce beasts, and it is possible to die at any time. In the best era, everyone has a chance to be superior in a relatively fair environment. Quote. Yi Yixing slowly said one sentence at a time, every word, every sentence, like a hammer, directly hit each person's soul. I also let everyone have a kind of ambition and fighting spirit never before. Under fair conditions, who is afraid of whom? I may not be able to be a noble in my own eyes before. There is a different look in each eye. If you want to join the army, look for Wang Dahu and Jia Yukan. You will be there to help you register. Those who join the army will be registered in the army. After Yi Yixing finished speaking, he did not continue to stay, turned and walked towards the location of the mansion. With him, many people cannot let go. I came to the mansion. There is an open lot around. In the waving room, a simple Tibetan scripture pavilion appeared in front of it, looking small and exquisite in front of it. It has a total of 9 floors and is a 9-story attic. Moreover, it is bred with glass-like materials. In the attic, the ancient scriptures of the scripture pavilion are engraved. This is also a rare treasure obtained before. Although it has no attack power, it can store a variety of classics. The Tibetan scripture pavilion looks inconspicuous, but it is extremely important. This is the essence of a force. A drop of blood fell in the Tibetan scripture hall, merged into it, and after getting a touch, the thoughts moved, and the Tibetan scripture hall had flew in the air. Appeared in the open space outside the mansion, already quickly inflated in midair. In a blink of an eye, it turned into a huge glazed attic, standing next to the mansion. In the sun, a halo of glass radiates. He is like a divine creature. Instantly fell, connected to the ground on the ground, and could not see any gaps. It's as if it grew directly from the earth. I stand directly in Xuanwang village, which is very eye-catching. The people around me saw the birth of the Tibetan pavilion at the first time, and knew that it must be Yi Tianxing's arm. The ability to rise high rises instantly like a miracle is only available to the village chief. Yi Yishanxing saw the Tibetan scripture hall. Without hesitation, walked directly to the front, followed the glass stairs to the door was open. There is a real spirit in the Tibetan scripture pavilion, and it seems that it has not been fully nurtured. In the Tibetan scripture pavilion, Yi Tianxing felt a strange spirituality hidden in the deepest place. This is the true spirit naturally born in the Tibetan pavilion. But I didn't care, the existence of the true spirit is also a good thing for myself. You reading books will become even more amazing in the future. Enter the Tibetan scripture pavilion. He appeared before him in rows of bookshelves. The bookshelves are white jade bookshelves. All of these bookshelves are blank, and no classic books exist. Tibetan scripture pavilion, these exercises and combat skills, all types of categories, put in different bookshelves. The first layer only stores the Shanhai Jinggong level classics. The second layer stores the Mingshu Jing level classics. He said, various skills and combat skills quickly came out. Sit and forget, basic swordsmanship, basic swordsmanship, basic swordsmanship, blood springs, Dilang swordsmanship, Chongchun Gong, pure Yuan Gong, iron blood Shaki, blood blades, record of the heart of the blue blood Dan, sword of water sword, mountain flowing water. Dark blue meditation, warriors of heaven, war of heavens, Jinpin Shenjing. The basic runes. These exercises were collected during the great disaster before, and they were captured by shooting in Wanbao's cross. There are deep and ordinary. But any one of the exercises is a ladder that can change the destiny for ordinary people now. Brush. A white light emerged from the Tibetan scripture pavilion, instantly covering all the exercises and classics. Immediately after, I saw that these jade books flew to the white jade bookshelves as if they had wings. Each bookshelf has a grid of 981 books. In each box, only one jade book is placed. Moreover, after being put in, a layer of invisible barriers will emerge on the book grid to protect the jade book. On the light curtain, a simple narrative about the internal works of law will naturally emerge. You reading readers are welcome to come and read. The latest, fastest and hottest serial works are in You reading. Mobile users please read. Chapter 53, Demon Swear. If you like it, you can choose to get that exercise. A book of skills and techniques appeared naturally on the bookshelf. There are some exercises, but in the white light, 2 or even 3 are bizarrely divided, a larger number. Some remain on the first floor, and some disappear directly in the white light, as if sent to other places. That is an extraordinary grade of active method. The practice method contained in it is not only the level of the Shanhai realm, but also the later layers, such as the opening of the method of life and tactics, or the more precious map of life and tactics. These are not the scope of the first layer of storage. Under the power of the Tibetan pavilion, they were separated into several jade books, representing the exercises of different realms. For example, the heart of blue blood Dan is separated in an instant, and in the first layer, there is only the sea of hearts of blue blood. As for the higher levels, they can only be found in higher floors. This is one of the capabilities of the scripture pavilion. Regulate, iron blood Shaki, is a basic technique for soldiers and soldiers. Any soldier can get it for free. Changing, pure Yuan Gong, as all people, regardless of gender, regardless of status, can receive training for free. No matter soldiers or ordinary people, you can get a basic combat skill for free. After Yi Yishanxing saw that all the techniques had fallen on the white jade bookshelves, he said flatly. The voice came out, just like Jinko Yuyan, in the Tibetan scripture pavilion, naturally induced induction and rules of birth. Anyone who acquires all the exercises and classics needs to take an oath of demon, and destiny is forbidden by law. No one can impart any exercises or techniques obtained from the Tibetan scripture hall to anyone without permission. They can only be used for their own cultivation. Leave it in the text. If you violate it, the demon will bite back. Qi Yishanxing said again. With the words falling down, all the classics of power exercises contain a wonderful rhyme. I don't make an oath, I will definitely not take any exercises. Once you make an oath, the exercise is in your mind. If you want to speak, you say and say it, you say and write it. This is to ensure that the exercises in the Tibetan scripture hall are dense and must not be leaked out. Can't say, can't write. Sever the possibility of spreading gongfa to the maximum possible. At this point, Yi Tianxing knew very clearly. This is not a question of trust or distrust. It is a question of rules. Only by setting rules can we be successful. In troubled times, these exercises and techniques are the foundation and the foundation of achievements. Fundamentally, how can it be given to others for no reason? The only way to ensure the confidentiality of these exercises is not to be spread or leaked. Only in this way can we truly ensure that the foundation is stable and cannot be stolen. To learn the exercises, you must go to the Tibetan scripture pavilion. Otherwise, I have to find other ways to get the exercises. That kind of possibility is a small chance after all. The existence of the Tibetan scripture pavilion can completely eradicate the spread of some exercises, at least, only if there are some exercises in the Tibetan scripture pavilion, it will be difficult for them to leak. This is kindness, and it also reveals the inside out. Even a big bargaining chip to attract talent. For example, the heart of Bishui Dangsen is a method of Confucianism and Taoism. If a scholar can cultivate, he can cultivate a unique spirit, and it is upright. As long as the scholar has talent, as long as he has the right method, he can guide the talent, open up a sea of spirit in the body, and turn the talent into a magnificent righteousness. But to continue practicing Confucianism and Taoism, one must continuously increase his knowledge, read books, delve into various disciplines, and even create his own doctrines and theories. He wrote in the book, asking for the lives of the people, benefiting one people, and the people are willing to join in, and they have made progress. If one's own morals are not okay, she has low morale and misconduct, even if she cultivates the righteousness, it is still slow to increase. Not even stopping. Only truly talented people can go further on this path. Open up Confucianism and Taoism and gain Confucianism and Taoism. After doing this, Yi Tianxing didn't stay much. Turn around and leave the scripture pavilion. The gates of the scripture pavilion are open, no matter during the day or at night, they will not be closed unless there are special circumstances. You can enter the exercises at any time, but you can only get free basic exercises. Others require relative merit, estimation of achievements and so on. This is the next thing Yi Tianxing needs to do. For a force, rules and regulations are extremely important. But now the village establishment time is too short, and there are too few talents. Some things can't be achieved all at once, but they can only be developed slowly. Coupled with various external threats, the first problem is still survival. Time goes by a little bit. The sun disappeared and the bright moon in the sky hung high. In Xuanwang village, some simple sheds have begun to be established. During the daytime is too late, and several successive killings and frights have exhausted many people physically and mentally. It is obviously impossible to complete the construction of the house. You can only build a large shed first, so that it can block the rain and dew at night. Although sad, many people began to talk openly around the fire. Roasted by the fire, talking about the world today, Xuanwang village, and the future. For those people who can have such a gathering place and a place of hope in this cruel era, many people have a desire for the future and a hope for survival. At this time, many people also started to go to the Tibetan Buddhist pavilion. King Wang Dahu, Huang Chengyan, and Jia Yukan are among them. As soon as I entered, almost everyone secretly amazed. It's so big, it's amazing. It's really a fetish. It doesn't look very big on the outside, but there is so much space inside. There are too many bookshelves. It's incredible. It's incredible. Inside, I know how many classic books can be stored. This is simpler and more convenient than the previous bamboo. I have talked with others, most of the world has white paper, written on paper. Paper can replace bamboo slips, and here is more magical, these techniques the materials used in warfare are not gold, not jade, but not cotton. Quote. Shang Huang Chengyan looked at the classics of books on the white jade bookshelf, his eyes were stunned, and he groaned secretly. In his time, bamboo slips were still the main form. A classic book, when recorded, required a large number of bamboo slips. Some people say that learning to get rich with 5 cars, this car-free book is written with bamboo slips. In fact, a cart of bamboo slips may only be 1 or 2 sage books written on paper. Not only convenient, but also easier to read. For readers, it is definitely the gospel. I shook my head and left these thoughts behind. Looking towards the bookshelf. Pure Yuan Gong, the basic method of building the Shanhai realm. There is a energy ventilation vision map, which visualizes the vortex of vitality, can pull the vitality in the body, open the treasure of Shanhai, and condense the pure vitality without any attributes. You can transfer any exercises. There are no requirements for qualifications. Everyone can practice. Free practice. No conditions are required. Quote. Huang Chengyan came to the place where the book, Pure Yuan Gong, was placed. On the bookcase of Pure Yuan Gong, there was a layer of light curtain, and naturally a piece of ancient writings emerged. Whether you recognize it or not, after seeing it, will naturally understand the meaning. This is amazing. It's incredible. Huang Chengyan lamented that if this kind of exercise was placed in his original world, it would definitely be a fetish treasure that can make anyone crazy, and I don't know how much ***** wind will be caused. How many kills will result? Something that can upend the whole world. Exist only in the legendary cultivation method. Put it right in front of you now, and get it right away if you want to. However, Huang Chengyan did not immediately choose Pure Yuan Gong as his practice method, he planned to take a closer look. Maybe there are other options. Oh, thanks to my lord, Iron and Blood, Wang Dahu can also practice, and in the future, he will not be so weak. King Wengu stood in front of the bookshelf with Iron Blood Shiki, and looked at the jade book containing Gongfa. His mouth was going out of his head, smiling, his face full of happiness. I didn't want to think about it, I just stretched my hand towards the U-book, but the light curtain in front of the book grid blocked his hand, followed closely, emitting a layer of white light, covering it. Wang Dahu just felt like he suddenly appeared in a mysterious space. But I immediately realized some messages. Loudly said, and Wang Dahu vowed, www.novelhall.com, will never impart, Iron Blood Fiend, to anyone without leaving any words. If you violate the oath, beware of the demon, you will never lose it. Immediately after the vow was made, in this mysterious space, a jade book emerged naturally. It was a classic book of exercises of Iron and Blood Qi. When it appeared, it turned into a white light, and instantly entered Wang Dahu's mind. In his mind, it turns into an illusory book, which can be opened and viewed as you wish. It contains the Iron Blood vertical and horizontal picture, but now I can only open it to see this Iron Blood vertical and horizontal picture. Imagine the confrontation between the two armies in the picture, the blood battle, the vertical and horizontal battlefield battle map. If you imagine, the whole both physically and mentally seem to be in this cruel battlefield, drawing out the evil spirits in the body, directly spitting the gas, and opening the hidden treasures of Shanhai. This is easier for soldiers who have experienced the battlefield than for soldiers who have not experienced killing. More simple. Only after completing the imagination and opening the Shanhai realm, can I open the contents in my mind. This is long to say, but it's just a blink of an eye. He could not breathe, and Wang Dahu's hand had been taken away from the light curtain. The jade book of Iron Blood Shiki was still stored on the bookshelf and had not been moved too far. But Wang Dahu really got the practice of Iron Blood Shiki, and the illusory jade book in his mind could still be clearly sensed. This is another capability of the Tibetan scripture pavilion. The same copy can be condensed into the books on the bookshelf and integrated into the other person's mind. You don't need to take the original to get the tradition of the exercises. www.novelhall.com. Welcome the book readers to visit the latest, fastest the hottest serial works or at www.novelhall.com. Please read for mobile users. Chapter 54. Nationwide Practice. This ability allows even thousands of people in the Tibetan scripture pavilion to come in and choose the same method. It can be done easily and without pressure. As long as it exists in the Tibetan scripture pavilion, the process of infinite replication can be easily completed, and there are vicious demon swears that there will not be any leakage of exercises. Wang Dahu felt the illusory books appearing in his mind, grinned, and immediately saw the other bookshelves, and found a copy of the Basic Knife Method. After issuing his fate, the copy of the Basic Knife Method also appeared in his mind. In the tradition. As for other exercises and classics, there is no way to inherit them. Not Xie, he hasn't got any stronger exercises and qualifications for combat skills. Great, other brothers have to come together to inherit the exercises. Only by becoming stronger can we really survive. Protect Xuanwang village. Wang Dahu's eyes showed excitement and he got the cultivation method. He already had a can't wait to go back and try the impulse to practice. Huang Chengyan saw Wang Dahu's departure and was not affected. He continued to watch. Many bookshelves are empty, but he will watch every exercise book carefully. Suddenly, his steps stopped completely, his eyes fell on a bookshelf, and he could no longer make strides. Shanghai chapter of Bishuidanshinlu. This turned out to be Confucianism and Taoism. It is suitable for the study of Confucianism and Taoism. It is a way to cultivate the vitality of the Confucian. I even became short of breath. To get it, you must get it. I am a scholar. Such a Confucian and Taoist practice is simply a perfect fit for me. Compared with Chun Yuan Gong, this is the most suitable for me. Huang Chengyan held his beard excitedly and murmured to himself, however, this is not free exercises but I have said above. If a scholar who has not practiced any exercises has talent, he must be able to motivate and develop Confucianism, Taoism and Shanghai. It is the real sea of learning. Before that, you could not practice the exercises, but this Book of Blue Blood Dangsanlu is obviously extremely valuable, and it is not so easy to obtain. Quote, this thing is obviously different from ordinary exercises such as pure Yuan Gong, and it is still the most suitable for Confucian students such as Confucian students who practice reading. The value of such exercises is far from simple as imagined. Shang Huang Chengyan is sober, such a treasure, no matter who it is, cannot easily be given to others. On what basis? What qualifications are required to do so? He couldn't think of any qualifications for him. But if he wants to give up, he has a strong unwillingness in his heart. If you do see the record of the heart of Bai Shui Dan, then he will practice pure Yuan Gong. After all, he is on the road to practice, but now he is different and has better options in front of him. Moreover, he felt that he was already old, and at this age, he would definitely be inferior to young people in cultivating, and only had to follow the path of Confucianism and Taoism. Only when you fill your body with energy can you be flat and have a greater possibility. Huang Chengyan's face changed for a while, then he swung his long sleeves and turned away. When he left, his steps were a little stupefied. Obviously, the mood is definitely not so calm. In the mansion, Qi Yishanxing directly found a room to live in, but instead of sleeping, he sat and started practicing. Looking at the moonlight outside, he murmured to himself, presumably the things I put in the Tibetan scripture hall have already begun to take effect. It depends on when the fish is hooked. In this troubled world, I don't have much time to play Corporal Li Xian, look around at that gimmick. Quote. After muttering a word, without hesitation, he started to practice again. Naturally began to contemplate, run the dragon heavenly scriptures, imagine the ancestral map of the four seas, an ancestor dragon appeared in the sea of God, and he breathed the vitality of the heavens and the earth. Immediately, I saw that the two meridians that had been opened up, one after another colorful heaven and earth vitality poured into the Shanghai like a tide, forming colorful clouds over the Shanghai, enclosing the ancestors. The ancestors swallowed the clouds and quickly condensed the air of true dragons. Moreover, under a mysterious force existing in the deep, this absorption and refining was faster than expected. More than 3 times under normal practice. Is this the power of Qian from Xuanwang village? 3 times the speed of cultivation. 3 times faster than normal. Is this the magic of Qian? It is incredible. Yi Tianxing also secretly gave birth to his heart. A touch of shock. Experience the magic of luck in person. It also made him have a different determination. He was determined to live in this troubled world. Moreover, it is better to live. This Xuanwang village will truly develop and grow on the eternal continent. This night, he did not rush the pulse, but just silently work the exercises to quench the 2 meridians that had been opened in the body with the spirit of true dragon, so that the dragon veins inscribed on the meridian channels became more clear and the meridians changed. Be tougher. Makes the speed of heaven and earth vitality through the meridian channel becomes more rapid. This night, the bright moon is shining, and the bonfire has been warming all the strangers who have gathered together in all the worlds from the south to the north. In the conversation, they have changed from unfamiliar, familiar, silent, and smiling. There was hope on the face, and longing. Some people went to the Tibetan scripture pavilion, where they received the most basic practice methods and combat skills, and the original soldiers did not hesitate to choose the iron blood evil spirit. And the first time I tried to practice. They have built a humble military camp in the west of the village, saying that it is a military camp, which is just an ordinary greenhouse. Except for the necessary guards, all soldiers are undergoing their first training. After getting the exercises, many ordinary people try to practice. Encountered such a big change of heaven and earth, no one can fall asleep. They all hope that they can grasp a certain strength, can react to a certain degree when danger comes. Even if you can't kill the monster, you can make a certain contribution. The point is that strength is the most important factor in giving them a sense of security. Boom. Time passed quietly, guarded by an arrow tower. Xuanwang village seemed very peaceful. Suddenly at the barracks where the soldiers were stationed, a ***** light suddenly flashed, and then the vitality of the surrounding world began to swarm towards that location. I looked closely, and you could see that Wang Dahu was sitting on a clearing. Bleeding gas was emerging outside the body, and was continuously drilling into the body, submerging into the position of the navel eye. Accompanying it, there is a sense of vitality. Between his eyebrows, a touch of evil spirits emerged. Apparently, he has already stepped into the ranks of practitioners and has opened the sea of God in his body. Sudden fluctuations in vitality made Yi Tianxing wake up from the practice, looked up to the west, a hint of joy appeared in his eyes, and nodded secretly. Sure enough, these soldiers have experienced killings, even on the battlefield, and accumulated in the body. It's just that this kind of evil spirit has not been able to use it before. It has inspired many people. Even after leaving the battlefield, there will be various mental problems, bloodthirsty. Having battlefield syndrome is actually no way. Turning qi into your own use. Now that there are exercises, and they are still in the army, as long as you draw out qi and become a monk, it is much faster than normal people. Quote. This is a good group of soldiers. Qi Yishanxing murmured to himself, but did not think much, and continued to immerse himself in cultivation. This night, the whole people practice in Xuanwang village. Officially set foot on the road to becoming a monk. In the night, you can hear a terrible roar, a roar is sounding, a fierce assassination is erupting, a bird appears in the night sky, and you want to enter Xuanwang village, but in the near moment, it is sensed by the arrow tower. All the crossbows shot out instantly. These crossbows, all of which are energy crossbow arrows bred from the energy of the heavens and earth, are extremely sharp. They are sharper than any crossbow, and they are harder than fine steel arrows. Those fierce birds didn't even wait to get close, they were forcibly shot by crossbow arrows. Killed on the spot. Even after death, the soul and bones were plundered by a mysterious force in the deep, appearing directly in the arrow tower. It seems that the bones can be moved into the arrow tower, so that the arrow tower can absorb and fuse. This is one of the magical powers of the arrow tower, and one of the reasons to qualify as a different treasure. www.novelhall.com. The two arrow towers also make the village seem very peaceful. Let all tired people spend a peaceful night. The next day, the sun rises to the east, and the golden sun fills the earth. Everyone is awake. A large number of women started to make fire and cook rice. They took out the remaining rat meat yesterday and grilled it. Under the flame, the golden rats on the side were bright and shiny, and the meat was delicious. Let the population flow. He fetched water from the river, took out a bag of rice that Yi Tianxing had left yesterday, put it into a large pot, and started to make rice porridge. There is still some food in Yi Tianxing's hands, but hundreds of people gathered together, no more than enough food to eat, only porridge and rat meat. Kill, kill, kill. Wang Dahu is at the barracks position, and Wang Dahu is carrying a group of soldiers constantly wielding weapons in his hands. Every time he shakes, a killing sound comes out, and his voice contains a strong will. This is doing daily training. Moreover, you can see that the speed and strength of Wang Dahu when wielding his sword are directly higher than yesterday, and each sword has an evil spirit. There is a terrifying atmosphere. Okay, Tiger, your qualifications are really good. Just after you have practiced, you will be able to stir up the spirit overnight, open up the sea of God, and become a monk. As long as you persist, you may not have great achievements in the future. Yi Yishan walked into the barracks, watching the soldiers in the exercise, and nodded his head. These people have veterans, and after hearing the recruiting yesterday, a large number of young people joined the army and became recruits. They also live in barracks. They are now practicing with the veterans. www.novelhall.com. Welcome the book readers to read. The latest, the fastest and hottest serial works are at www.novelhall.com. Please read for mobile users. Chapter 55. Digging Bug. Chew open black lens bracket recommended collection close black lens bracket. Early in the morning, Jia Yukan sent the former military register and the villagers' register in Xuanwang village to Yi Tianxing. It was very handy. After receiving the task yesterday, he did not stay for a moment and kept registering, recording. Under the guidance of Huang Chengyan, he did everything in an orderly manner. Moreover, in the level register, each person's name was deliberately added with their own skills. With this, Yi Tianxing nodded secretly to Jia Yukan's ability and had a good impression. It is already a caring person who can do this. There are not many scholars in Xuanwang village. The most important thing is that Jia Yukan is not a dead schooler yet, and he has a spirit that changes his mind. Can focus on training. I don't expect too much about whether there is a talented person in history to invest. Rather than thinking about things that are not yet practical, it is better to train myself. As long as they have the opportunity to experience, the ordinary people may not be as good as those who are famous. There is just no chance for them to show their talents and give them the opportunity to exercise their abilities. But now Yi Tianxing is willing to give them this opportunity. Xuanwang village is now a grassroots team. There are no rules. All the previous ones can be overturned, and they may not be worse. However, the most important thing now is the army. The army must be completely established and rectified in order to fully exert the strength of each soldier. Oh, thanks to the master for the exercises. Iron Blood Shiki is really suitable for you to practice. I feel that now my whole body is full of strength, and my strength is constantly growing. Wang Dahu grinned a moment, said with a smile. He became a monk before he realized how weak he was before. Now he has felt that he can easily crush his former self with his current strength. This feeling is very wonderful, and that feeling of power is unprecedented. Iron Blood Evil Spirit is most suitable for military soldiers to practice, and the more people practice, the heavier the evil spirit condenses, the faster the cultivation speed will be. On the battlefield, the more enemies are killed. The exercises that are suitable for you to practice, as long as you work hard, you will naturally have further opportunities in the future. Quote. Yi Tianxing smiled and patted Wang Dahu on the shoulder, and said gently. For his own people, and, obviously, his future class, he will not hold his own smile in appreciation at all. How many soldiers are there in the barracks now? Yi Yixing asked. The number of former veterans and the recruits who joined the army yesterday was about 300. Wang Dahu grabbed his head and replied, but his tone was still somewhat uncertain. In total, there are 315 serving soldiers. At this time, Jia Yukan came over and said, now in Xuanwang village, there are 785 people, 315 military members and 470 civilians, including 200 women. 7. There are 120 children. They are all orphans. They have lost their parents. In the course of change, they have been separated, and they no longer know where their parents are. They are all young, 10 years old, and young, 5 or 6 years old. Quote. When I opened my mouth, I quickly talked about the number of villagers in the entire Xuanwang village, the ratio of men and women, and the number of children. I can quickly see that he had done his homework before. I heard Yi Tianxing and looked at Jia Yukan. Secretly said in his heart, this is a caring person, not ordinary. There is ambition to compete. He is not afraid of ambition, and has the motivation to grow. There is a desire to climb upwards. As long as these are still under your control, it is a good thing. Alas, he did not respond. Instead, he looked at Wang Dahu and said, Big Tiger, now everything in our village must be restarted. We have no real qualified generals here to lead these soldiers and soldiers. Now, we can only rely on you to support things in the army. This army, I plan to personally lead, you come to be my deputy. Cooperate with me in charge of things in the army. Quote. Qi Yishanxing said, the military, especially in the early days of entrepreneurship, must not easily hand over the control of military power to others. Only by training and controlling in person can you have authority in the army and gain loyalty from the army. Yes, Lord, King Wang Dahu grinned, his eyes were full of excitement. What is this? This is promotion. A formal promotion confirms his position in the army. My heart secretly said. Sure enough, the grandmother is right, as long as you follow the right person and be loyal, then you will definitely get ahead. I am going to promote the ranks of new soldiers in the army. There are 9 grades. The most common are soldiers and ordinary soldiers. Above are the Chief Wu, Shi Chong, platoon leader, company commander, battalion commander, division, and division commander, commander of the army. The commander of the army is a product. These will be told to you later. Now, there are more than 300 people, and you can set up a battalion commander, who will be yours. Yes, Lord, King Wang Dahu heard and immediately thanked him with excitement. I'm in charge of this army, which means that with the full trust of Yi Tianxing, his status will change. At least for now, with the exception of Yi Tianxing, no one in the army can have his right to power. Based on cultivating iron and blood evil spirits, whoever gets through the Sea of God first and becomes a monk has priority to be the company commander, platoon commander, chief commander, and commander of the army. Wait a minute, I will give you a detailed explanation of the changes in the position of the general. Quote. At this time, the organizational system in the army did not exist at all. It was the best time to promote the functions of the new post in the army. It was best to break all the previous pots and throw them away, and reuse the most suitable and concise system. Start. Everyone, since you are a soldier, that is your own brother. In my Xuanwang village, there is no so-called power and wealth, and everyone has a chance. You should now have been inherited from the practice of iron and blood. I promise here, now the position in the army is the first to open up Shanghai and be promoted to those who are in a serious position in Shanghai. The second promotion is the first company commander under battalion commander Wang Dahu. There is no threshold, as long as you with the ability, you can get these positions. In the army, heroes are measured by strength. Quote. Yi Yishanxing looked at a famous soldier in the field, whether it was an old soldier or a recruit. The voice fell directly into everyone's ears. The radon effect is also remarkable, and many people's eyes are unwilling. There is a strong enthusiasm in Shang Yishanxing's eyes. They believe in Yishanxing and believe that his words will be fulfilled and his promises will be fulfilled. Wang Dahu is the best example. Qianjin by horse bone, although vulgar, it is the most effective. I can imagine that in the next time, all soldiers will practice hard, hoping to become monks at the fastest speed. Get to be a general in the army. Real power. Looking at these hopeful faces, Yi Tianxing secretly sighed in his heart. It is also huge to pay while mastering power, especially in this troubled world. If you have power, you have to pay more than ordinary people. Strength is power. I don't know how many people can finally support it. This is not only power, but also responsibility. Luan, this troubled world is the big waves. The big waves wash the sand and see who can survive. What? When the incident in the military camp just came to an end, all of a sudden, a sound of screams came from the village, which completely broke the early morning tranquility. Let Xuanwang village create a tense atmosphere again. Big Tiger, take your soldiers, come over immediately to maintain order. Xuanwang village, you must not mess. I heard Yi Tianxing, his face changed immediately, without thinking, quickly rushing in the direction of the sound. I was in an area in the valley, only to see that people were screaming and spreading out quickly, with a look of horror in between. Dongko, a dark cave appeared in the valley, and the mouth of the cave was filled with a breath of sulfuric acid. It has a pungent odor. What's going on? Yi Tianxing stood beside the entrance of the cave, and naturally delivered a reassuring breath, which was killed before. The village chief is a weird bug, a huge bug with jagged teeth in his mouth, which is red and can emit weird liquids. It fell on his body, flesh and blood disappeared, his bones were exposed, and Lao Jiao was just caught. Only the weird swallowed it, and Yu read and pulled it into the hole. Quote. Someone quickly said to Yi Tianxing. Strange bugs, which can spray venom, corrode flesh, and travel through the ground. Once such a monster rages, it will be a huge disaster for the entire Xuanwang village. Suddenly a thought flashed through Yi Yixing's mind. The threat and destruction of such a monster to Xuanwang village is unimaginable. Being able to make a ghost in the ground, as long as a sneak attack, the entire Xuanwang village can be completely collapsed. I don't know how many people will die. At the thought of this, Yi Tianxing's face became extremely ugly. On the ground, as long as the enemy in the sky does not exceed a certain level, He may not have the opportunity to kill, but this underground enemy cannot find traces. How to fight the enemy, how to kill. The enemies lurking in the dark are really terrible. Brush. The light flashed in my hand, and the wordless book of heaven appeared in front of it. After opening, the wordless book of heaven naturally captured a trace of breath remaining in the cave, and a paragraph of text flashed quickly. Bugworms. Hunters from the ground, cunning and ferocious, contain spray sulfuric acid, quickly swallow the soil, the ability to dig holes, strong body, can regenerate with severed limbs, extremely revenge, once it appears, it will not easily leave the area. Life is extinct. Quote. We and Z on the wordless heavenly book, a text suddenly appeared. Apparently, it was the message about the bug from the ground. The ability of Wushu Tianshu is very magical. It seems to know everything. As long as you encounter something, you can perceive a general idea, and even the abnormal changes of heaven and earth can be captured and presented on the heavenly book. UU Reading readers are welcome to come and read. The latest, fastest and hottest serial works are in UU Reading. Mobile users please read. Chapter 56, Piranha. Chu open black lens bracket recommended collection close black lens bracket. When I saw these messages, Yi Tianxing knew very well that this digging worm was not easy to deal with, and it could even be said to be quite difficult. The most terrifying thing was that this digging worm traveled underground. When the place comes out, where the attack will be launched, it is all unclear, and it may appear at any time. If so, it will definitely cause greater panic. The key is that it is useless to know that digging worms are a big threat now. Without the ability to digging, it is impossible to find the traces of digging worms. This is a great problem. If not resolved, it will directly affect Yi Tianxing's prestige in Xuanwang village. This is an issue that cannot be ignored. You must find a way to dig out this digging worm, otherwise, as long as it continues to hide, it is a sharp sword hanging above your head, which poses too much threat. However, the question now is how to remove it. Let out. Quote. There are a lot of people in Wuxuanwang village. The ground digger has to hunt and kill. Anyone can be the target. So many people, how to determine that the other party will become the target, this is obviously not an easy task. I can't even do it. It is too difficult to find the groundworm. Unless it is at the moment when the digging worm shoots, drag it eventually and prevent it from directly entering the ground. In this way, it is possible to hunt and kill the worm. The burrow in front of the eyes was full of high concentration sulfuric acid, and the ground was corroded. I am afraid that ordinary people will immediately become a pile of bones and die on the spot. No way. Village head. In the river, strange fish appeared in the river. Someone washes clothes by the river, was dragged into the river by that monster. The whole body, were eaten. It's just bones that sink to the bottom of the river. Quote. A woman in her 30s ran over the river quickly, shouting loudly. Big tiger, you take someone here to seal this burrow with stones, don't let people approach. Let's go to the river. Yi Tianxing sank again. He could only temporarily set aside the digging worm and rushed towards the river. The digging worm was underground, but it was impossible to find it on the ground. There was no way to think about it. Before the solution, you can only see what monsters appear in the river. When Xuanwang village was established, she valued the nearby river nearby, and it was a big river. Rivers and rivers are precious rivers that nurture life. Here, water resources are abundant. Whether it is planting or other, building a shipyard, etc., there are great benefits. Nearby, natural ports can be established. All these can make this area a top gathering place. However, it now seems that in this new world, danger is almost everywhere. Even if Xuanwang village is established, whether it can survive or not is a huge problem. Survival is still not a simple word. The mood became heavy. I came to the river. This river has no name yet. Looking at the rushing river, the people on the river were subconsciously as far away from the water as possible, and they could see that on the water surface of the river, there was a layer of extremely thin blood color dissipating rapidly. The **** smell lingers in the air. Many people were pale and frightened, and many women washing clothes on the shore were in shock. Obviously, the shock that they just brought is definitely not small. Village chief, there are strange fishes in the river. These fish are very cruel. Just now Kuewa was accidentally bitten in the arm, dragged into the water, and was eaten in a blink of an eye. It turned out to be a cruel bone. Village chief, what should we do? There are strange fishes, we dare not approach the river. The people around him saw Yi Tianxing coming, and they all showed hope. In their hearts, it is clear that Yi Tianxing is the only support and pillar in their hearts. Go and ask some people to bring over the corpse of the green skin monster that was killed yesterday. Yi Tianxing looked at the river in front of him, and frowned slightly at the soldier who followed. As the soldiers ran back to get the greenskin monster body, Huang Chengyan also came to the river. This world is really too dangerous. There are weird bugs underground, and weird fish in rivers. It is not easy to survive. Huang Chengyan also knows what happened in the village. I didn't expect to have just calmed one night. Early in the morning, I gave a head blow. In this world, there is absolutely no place that is absolutely safe, everywhere is dangerous, and one may die inadvertently. This era is too cruel for ordinary people. There is no paradise in this world. Even if there is paradise, it is piled up by flesh and blood and killed by both hands. This is bound to be an era of cruelty to the extreme. No one can save us, and all we can rely on is ourselves. First save ourselves, we can save people. As long as Xuanwang village grows stronger, we can save more people. In this era, we have no choice. This is a new era. Quote, Qi Yishanxing was equally heavy. Building a place of refuge is also not so simple. Nowadays, not only are they facing the pressure of survival, but all other humans who have come to this world are facing this endless pressure. Every time, there will be deaths, and the number of deaths is definitely an astronomical number. Village Chief. Huang Chengyan heard that hesitation flashed on his face, and finally decided to just spit out 2 words. There was a rushing noise behind him. The soldiers had already carried the bodies of 3 green-skinned monsters. These monsters just cut off their arms and did not plan to eat. They also planned to throw them outside today, but now they are used, but the bodies have changed, it must be cold. Master, the body has been taken. A soldier opened his mouth and reported. What's your name? Yi Tianxing looked at the resolute man with a soldier-like face in front of him. It seemed that he should be relatively quiet, but he was a good height and had calluses on his hands. He was a veteran. My name is Feng Yumo. The soldier answered immediately. Well, throw a corpse into it. Throw it into the river. Yi Tianxing nodded, and asked no more, directing. Flop. I threw the corpse into the water forcefully. The blood in the corpse had solidified, and the corpse was cold, but in the end it still exuded a ***** smell. Fall into the water and tumble in the waves. Huh. After a few breaths, I saw a strange fish with sharp teeth suddenly jumping out of the water, biting his mouth on the monster's body, tearing a large piece of flesh, and swallowing it unceremoniously. There is no taboo at all. It doesn't matter whether the body is cold or not. When he saw the food, he bit it with a big mouth. Also, what appeared was not one but a group. A monster fish emerged from the water, biting around the corpse, and the speed was so scary that in just a moment, all the bones of a corpse were stung, and it sank underwater. These, from throwing the corpse down to being smashed into bones, the whole process, just 10 breathless, is completely over. That picture made the people on the shore look pale. I had seen such a cruel and strange fish there before. Piranha. There was a touch of dignity on Yi Yixing's face. The piranha, it feels like a piranha, a big head, sharp teeth, bloodthirsty eyes, and the violent process of engulfing, all show that this is a piranha, and that these piranhas are physically better than normal piranhas to be big. The big one is even 1 meter long. Looking startling. This is a predator in the water. As soon as it smells bloody, it will immediately become violent. Even if other water overlords encounter piranhas, they will retreat. Because piranhas never appeared alone, once they appeared, they must have appeared as a group with a large number. It was fish hunting. This was the powerful force to deter a large number of water overlords. Furthermore, the piranhas in front of us are bigger, scarier and more cruel than the legend. When I thought that there would be piranhas here, or a large group of piranhas, Yi Tianxing's face became extremely unsightly. I care if you are a piranha, even if you appear here, then let me die. UCA and clean the digging worms, and UCA and clean up your group of piranhas. If you eat people, then I will eat you. There is a good treasure in the treasure that I got. I originally planned to keep it to see if it could be used in the future. Now it seems that we must improve our strength as soon as possible. Quote. Yi Yixing sneered and looked at the river. www.novelhall.com, muttered to himself. Very cruel fish. As long as it enters the water, it will inevitably die. Such a cruel fish, unless it is on land, is almost impossible to deal with in the water. Shooting with bows and arrows will not work. Huang Chengyan almost even stole his beard a handful. The desire for strength in his heart has also become stronger. He used to think that reading a book rationally can do things that ordinary people can't. I now look so weak. Shu's eyes fell on Yi Tianxing, and his eyes were determined. Feng Yumo, immediately take someone to find a few big poles, find some ropes, and move me all the previous green skin monster corpses. I don't believe we can still be a group of piranhas frightened. No matter how terrible it is, a group of beasts. Today, I want to eat a piranha. Quote. Yi Yixing waved his hand and said loudly. In the voice, there was a touch of coldness. The successive encounters made Yi Tianxing's intention to kill more intense. How the village chief is prepared to deal with these piranhas. If they are not removed, the threat to the villagers will be too great. Huang Chengyan asked curiously, depending on the situation, it seems that Yi Tianxing already has a way to deal with these piranhas. Without him, lure it with bait, Huang Lao. Today we have a full fish feast. Wu Yixinxing said in a deep voice. The light in my eyes became colder. I can't deal with digging worms, and can't deal with a group of piranhas. The people around me saw that they were all looking forward to their expectations, and their expectations for Yi Tianxing were still quite big. After all, their abilities that have been shown for a long time have completely conquered them. www.novelhall.com. Welcome the book readers to read. The latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all in. www.novelhall.com. Mobile users please read it. Chapter 57. Gourmet Cell. This is a troubled world, this is an era without rules. He is like the first human beings. The 3 emperors and 5 emperors rule the world. Why do the 3 emperors and 5 emperors stand out? The deity is the emperor because they have made contributions to the human race that ordinary people cannot. That's why they are respected as emperors. Gathering instincts around them will make the emperor lead himself to a better life and make himself better. Nowadays, what Yi Tianxing is doing is like what the 3 emperors and the 5 emperors did in ancient times, leading people to live. Naturally, it can be respected and respected by all. As long as you continue to bring everyone to survive in this troubled world, naturally, all people's hearts will condense on Yi Tianxing, and their status will be unshakable. This is not only what Yi Tianxing is doing. Other heroes, overlords, and even ambitious people who build villages are doing it. They are also blessing the people in one side, hoping to be filled with ferocious beasts and monsters everywhere. World, survive. In the process, those who are incapable will be eliminated naturally, will fall, and those who have the ability will stand out. This thing was not intended to be used. It seems that we must strengthen our strength as much as possible, but just eating this thing may not be a good thing for ourselves, but it will have a more targeted flaw. Yi Yixinxing looked at the river, and looked at the vast world in the distance. A flash of light appeared in his hand, a light ball appeared in his hand, and the light ball burst, and a weird jelly-like crystal. It gives off an almost irresistible scent, which provokes appetite and can't wait to swallow it immediately. The feeling is quite strong. Gourmet cells, exotic treasures bred from fantasy, you can gain incredible abilities by eating them. You can forcibly open a life tactic in your body. You can also continue to strengthen your physical body and strengthen your bones through eating. It has the potential for infinite evolution. But since then, there has been no resistance to good food. I don't know if it is good or bad. Quote. Yi Yixinxing looked at the crystal jelly in his hand, and there was no hesitation in his eyes. Indeed, the gourmet cell will never shame the name of Yibao. Moreover, Sheng Zai has huge potential at all, but the problem is that after eating this thing, after that, you really don't have much resistance to food, which may become a weakness in the future. Good eaters will die sooner or later. The point is, this thing, he really doesn't know what will happen after the fusion. I can forcibly open a strange treasure in the body, but it will bring myself a weakness that is not a weakness. Forget it, eat it. For now, living is the most important thing. As long as I get stronger, I can bless Xuanwang village to grow and grow. Besides, in the Eternal Continent, I don't know how many people have obtained all kinds of incredible things. Adventures, get all kinds of top-level treasures, soaring into the sky, but miss the opportunity to become stronger. It is too embarrassing. I do and know tomorrow, I will eat a future. Quote. Yi Yixing's eyes flashed lightly, and her face showed firmness. I didn't hesitate anymore, and I opened the food cell in my mouth. I did not hesitate to swallow it. Murmur. Many people around me saw that they all swallowed a saliva, even Huang Chengyan was no exception. The smell of the food cells was too unbearable. If it was not in the hands of Yi Tianxing, I would be afraid of early someone rushed to snatch. That thing is really ridiculous. As soon as the food cells are swallowed, a strange power begins to merge into the body, and every cell and every inch of bone is integrated into the body. This integration is perfect integration. Even Yi Tianxing could clearly feel that every cell in the body became active, full of mysterious vitality. Incorporates into every inch of flesh and blood, produces incredible changes. Moreover, in an area in the stomach of the body, a strange force gathered wildly, opening up a mysterious place almost on the spot. In this mysterious space, a tripod emerged. This is a tripod with 2 ears. It has a cricket head. Open your mouth and open your mouth as if devouring everything. It's just that this tripod seems extremely unreal. Obviously, this stinger is extremely weak. Fate of life food tripod. Gourmet cells are a strange kind of exotic treasure. It is one of the very few rare treasures that can directly open up your life in the body. Moreover, it has strong evolutionary ability and great potential. Make flesh and blood metamorphose and become stronger. It can be said that as long as there is food and top quality food, you can grow while eating. But this is forcing him on the road to food. After the food cells were completely integrated into the body, Yi Tianxing immediately felt that he had become completely different. Every cell was full of vitality, and every inch of flesh and blood exudes vigorous vitality. But again, there is a strong sense of hunger in every inch of flesh and bone. This feeling made him feel that even if a cow was in front of him, he would all be eaten into his stomach. I didn't expect to really be able to open up life tactics, Shiding. This life tactics should be very close to the food cells, so I don't know what kind of effect will be in the end. To what extent? According to Yi Tianxing's knowledge, after being absorbed by the food cells, it can indeed open up the life consciousness in the body and obtain various abilities, such as the ability to see through the eyes and shadows, etc. Therefore, the open life consciousness is immediately available. Without taking it, no one knows what kind of life consciousness will eventually awaken, but in many cases, being able to open up life consciousness is a great luck. Many times, the monks of Mingqiao realm have not yet been able to kill the monks of the Dead Sea realm, because the Shanhai realms can also wake up the Mingqiao, and in the end, the strength and strangeness of the Mingqiao are compared. Compared with other Mingqiao Shiding, although it does not seem to have the ability to attack, but from the perspective of Yi Tianxing, I am afraid that it is not so simple and may have a greater effect on itself. It is also a perfect match with gourmet cells. Maybe we can go a strange way. These are long to say, but they are only completed in the blink of an eye, and there is one more life consciousness in the body, so that the number of life consciousnesses reaches 3. This is absolutely rare in the Shanhai realm. Took a deep breath, forcibly suppressing the hunger transmitted from her body. Master, what you want has been found. At this time, Feng Yumo and a group of soldiers quickly found what Yi Tianxing had ordered before, took it over, several long wooden poles, and some ropes, and a large number of green-skinned monsters' bodies were moved over. Tie the rope to one end of the wooden pole, and then on the other rope, tie the body of a green-skinned monster. Place the wooden pole on the stone. Yi Tianxing quickly ordered. You want to fish these piranhas like fishing. Huang Chengyan knew what he was planning for the first time after hearing it, but there was a glimmer of color in his eyes. This is a pen of God. This method is simple and straightforward, and it is the most effective. No one had thought of it before. All of them were scared by piranhas, and he didn't even think about it. Also immersed in the terrible piranha. I groaned secretly in my heart. Sure enough, human wisdom is the most important. Ordinary people can handle piranhas when they are caught and thrown ashore. If you can think of this method, this machine change ability is far beyond ordinary people. Yes, piranhas are terrible in the water, but when they reach the ground, they are not fierce. An ordinary person can take a stick and shoot him directly. Yi Tianxing nodded. The piranhas like flesh and blood, which is instinct and instinct. This instinct makes them ferocious and can become their most terrible weakness. When they encounter blood, they can't resist it. What's more, piranhas have a huge appetite and a fast digestion rate, which means they are more likely to starve. For any food, the first reaction you see is to jump straight up. This is their way to death. Master, it's done. Feng Yumo, they have already made a large fishing rod, and they have found a large stone to move over, and put the wooden pole in a third position on the stone. It looks like a seesaw, which is the principle of leverage. As long as a piranha bites, you can immediately use this lever power, www.novelhall.com, to throw the piranha out of your hand without much effort. A stingray bait is an arm cut from a green-skinned monster. Tied to a rope. Okay, put it down, as long as the piranha hooks it, throw it up to me, and the people around me spread out to avoid danger, Yi Tianxing ordered decisively. Flop. I didn't hesitate. Immediately, the monster arm used as a bait was thrown into the river. A pair of eyes almost looked in the river and the area where the bait was located. Wow, I barely even had 2 or 3 breaths, and saw a fierce spray from the water surface, and that arm sank quickly into the water. Hooked. Throw me up. Seeing Yi Tianxing, his eyes flashed and he shouted without hesitation. Brush. Almost when the voice fell, the soldier on the other side had already pushed the wooden pole down, and the other end was momentarily lifted, and a full-length monster fish was pulled out of the water stiffly. When he was pulled out of the water, he bit on the arm bait. Not let up. In an instant, it was so easily pulled out of the water and thrown ashore. What a big fish, what a terrible sawtooth, all those teeth are sharp fangs, it is terrible. If you eat a piranha like this, a big piece of meat will be torn off and broken. It is terrible, it is absolutely difficult to deal with in the water. Useful, really caught it, killed it. All such piranhas should be killed. www.novelhall.com. Welcome book readers to visit the latest, fastest and hottest serial works just at www.novelhall.com. Mobile users, please read. Chapter 58. Food Tripod. Please recommend collections. Brothers give some power. Close black lens bracket. Can this piranha be eaten? It looks quite big. Someone revealed his yellow teeth and said. Ren lay in human eyes, there are only 2 kinds of fish, which are edible but not edible. The words fell into Yi Tianxing's ears, and for a while, he thought of a report I had seen before. The piranha is on the Amazon side, and is a predator at the top of the food chain. When crocodiles see it, they are afraid to run away, afraid to be surrounded, and they will be eaten directly. Absolutely fierce, making countless creatures frightened. But when they arrived in China, they were eaten by the Chinese and placed on the Chinese table. So, in front of the descendants of Yan and Huang, fierceness is not a problem. Whether it can be eaten is the problem. As long as it can be eaten, then fiercely, it will get you on the table. Hao Shang, it seems that I have heard that the piranha is delicious and tastes good. Yi Tianxing's eyes flashed a fascination. Every inch of flesh in the body conveyed a strong sense of hunger. Pressed this feeling down, shook his head, and secretly smiled bitterly in his heart. It seemed that he was going to become a foodie. The piranha was thrown to the ground, and then it felt bad. He slammed the ground crazy, and bounced his body back into the water. Snapped, but immediately a soldier rushed up, picked up a wooden stick, and knocked heavily on the piranha's head. On the spot, the piranha fainted. The fish's head was the key. No matter what kind of fish, it was photographed on the head. A moment, it must be dizzy. Master. A soldier grabbed the dying piranha, came to Yi Tianxing, and said aloud. Well, throw it directly into the open space. There is no water, and the piranha will die. Wait for breakfast and eat the piranha. Yi Tianxing nodded his head and continued to say, don't stop, keep fishing, I'll see. How many piranhas are there in this river? Let's send more people to fish together. Quote. The piranha's instinct for flesh and blood is too powerful. He faced the bait put into the river without any resistance. They rushed up, but were immediately thrown to the shore one after another. On the shore, someone waited specifically, holding a wooden stick, and when they went up, they were knocked out of their heads. Then, holding his tail, he flung it aside and waited, either roasted or stewed. Many people see these bleak piranhas, and their eyes reveal a kind of gaze about food. As for these piranhas, they eat people and eat meat. You and a group of people are already hungry for food. Worrying person to talk, that is absolutely nonsense. In troubled times, food is the most important. Maybe someone cares, but more people don't taboo. I can only survive if I am full. Although I had killed a group of rats before, there was some rat meat, but these meats could not stand for long. There are hundreds of mouths waiting to eat. After a short while, the piranhas had piled up like hills in the open space. Also, after dehydration, these piranhas did not live long and died one after another. It was a good meal. Okay, the village chief's response method is really clever. It can not only solve the harm of piranhas, but also solve the food problems of the villagers, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Huang Chengyan witnessed it all, and secretly admired and nodded, but I feel that although this piranha is fierce, it is a good food in front of you. You should not kill all of them. If you kill enough to fill your belly, you can temporarily slow it down and catch some water tomorrow. It will not be a mountain. Quote. Huang Chengyan froze his beard and spoke his suggestion. This piranha is so good at fishing. As long as there is blood food, it is definitely a catch, no miss. On the premise, this piranha can be regarded as a standing food. In case it is impossible to eat, this is the life-saving thing. Well, Huang Lao's suggestion is very good. Although there are many piranhas, killing them will surely be quickly extinct. It will not be easy to find fish that can be caught so easily. When Yi Yixing heard this, he also felt that it made sense, nodded, and agreed. Immediately, look at the number of piranhas that have been caught. It is enough to let everyone eat a meal, and then catch it is a waste. Without hesitation, just stop people from fishing. Throw all the corpses of greenskin monsters and leave them here. If they are rotten, it is not good, and it is easy to breed diseases. Yi Tianxing glanced at the many corpses of greenskin monsters left, and made a decision with a wave of his hand, all feeding mermaids. Everyone goes back to make a fire, and eat piranhas today. Use this iron bucket to draw water from the river. Don't touch the water directly, the piranhas won't hurt you. Yi Tianxing prepared to put in the space of Lingju before take out a few iron buckets. I used to put it in before, but now it just works. Subsequently, a large number of women began to fetch water with iron buckets by the river. The piranha was dissected apart with a knife to remove the internal organs, and the internal organs were thrown into the river, which also caused a rush of piranhas in the river. They can eat all of them irrespective of whether they are blood-eating or not. I have no scruples. The hole where the groundworm was dug was also blocked. In the village, in front of the fire, a large number of people gathered around, holding wooden sticks in their hands, strung the piranhas, and grilled them on the fire. Some also began to cook soup in pots. In this process, the teeth of the piranha are directly pulled out. There are artisans who do manual work, take out the tools they carry, drill a hole in the teeth, take out a string, and string it. It immediately becomes a good thing. Ornaments. I also have a wild style. Wu Yixing also held a piranha and kept rolling on the fire, so that the flame evenly touched the fish. After a while, a huge piranha has been roasted with fragrant meat and sprinkled with some salt. Let the aroma of fish flesh become more intense. Qi Yixing even felt that every inch of flesh and every cell in the body was transmitting a crazy hunger. There was a hint of eagerness in her heart. After being thoroughly cooked, she took out a dagger, cut a piece on it, and put it in her mouth. Chew carefully for a few times, a kind of grilled fish's fragrance and tenderness naturally flow in the mouth. Fresh and delicious, rich in protein, delicious meat, rich in aroma, and really top-quality ingredients. The flesh and blood of my whole body is jubilating. The Shanzhen cuisine that Yi Tianxing has eaten is definitely not a few. I have also tasted it, but I still can feel that the meat quality of this piranha is absolutely the best. It seems that it has arrived in the eternal continent, nourished by the vitality of the world, and has become more tender. His eyes brightened and hesitated again. Pieces of delicious fish flew into his mouth one after another and ate into his stomach. It didn't seem to be fast, but his mouth never stopped, and he chewed quickly. I have never heard of it, and kept putting pieces of meat into the mouth. In a blink of an eye, a big 1-meter-long fish fell into his belly without knowing it, leaving only a pair of fish bones in front of him. Village chief, this is just the fish soup that you just made. Try it. A woman brought a bowl of fish soup to her. Ji Yixing was also polite and drank with a mouthful. Tasty. The carp meat is fresh and tender, and the fish soup is even more delicious. If you drink it, the flavor of the fish will be really interesting in your mouth. At the moment, it was a few mouthfuls, and I drank a bowl of fish soup together with fish meat. It really is delicious. Qi Yixing couldn't help but sigh secretly. No wonder that the more fierce the fish, the more delicious the meat quality, because the fish constantly swims in the water, so that the body's meat is also constantly moving, making the meat more delicious and more energetic. Enriched with amazing protein. At this moment, the power brought by the gourmet cell immediately began to play out. The fish and fish soup in the stomach make every cell in the body feel happy, every inch of blood is full of craving, and the fish that enters the stomach begins to digest quickly. But the speed of cells is not as fast as life-killing. I didn't give other flesh and blood a chance to take the lead. I just saw that the mouthful of three-legged two-eared clams in the coffin was immediately flickering with a different light, a big mouth, and from the belly, those fish meat quickly decomposed and transformed into fish meat essence, mehua, directly submerged into the mouth, submerged in this mouthful of food. The mysterious texture emerges naturally in the food tripod, www.novelhall.com, a steady stream of fish meat, mehua, thoroughly quenched in the tripod. Unknowingly, on this imaginary food tripod, the food emerges the mermaid pattern as vivid, fierce, and sharp teeth are clearly visible. Make life fear, secretly cold. He followed closely, and a strange white mist spewed from his mouth. This cloud appeared directly in the body, and merged into the flesh and blood around him. Jubilant, joy, Yi Yishanxing felt that every cell in the body was cheering, quickly absorbing this strange cloud of smoke, and in the blink of an eye, it was completely integrated into every inch of flesh and blood, bones, and meridians. Jie Zhang in this whole body pleasure, whether it is learning meat or bones, the meridians are beginning to grow and become stronger. A tiny layer of precious light appeared on the cormorant membrane. This feeling is wonderful. This sense of pleasure does not last long. After all the clouds and smoke have been absorbed and refined, the flesh and blood that originally felt hungry seems suddenly satisfied. Become more dynamic. The flesh, bones, meridians, and even the blood all undergo different growth and transformation. It's a very powerful food cell, and it's so amazing. It only makes my flesh stronger by one meal, and my strength has increased by a few pounds. This potential transformation is like life's evolution. The essence of all foods is completely absorbed and blended into the flesh and blood body. Moreover, the presence of Shi Ding can completely refine mehua without any impurities and hidden dangers, becoming the most perfect and most suitable flesh, the beauty absorbed by the body. This is a perfect match. www.novelhall.com. Welcome the book readers to read. The latest, fastest and hottest serial works are all in. www.novelhall.com. Mobile users please to reading. Chapter 59. Lian Bodyman. Yi Tianxing felt that if the food cells were consumed by the blood and the flesh of the body, even the essence of the food will contain a variety of different impurities. Once incorporated, it may allow its own body in a short time become more powerful. However, it will also cause an impurity that is difficult to be removed in the body. It may not cause harm for a while, but when it reaches a certain level, it will certainly become its own obstacle or even a hidden danger. However, Ming Ding Shi Ding can refine all the essence of all foods into the essence of real food without impurities, just like cooking the food once again in Ding to remove all impurities. Make the food more delicious, more pure, and more conducive to human body absorption. Can stimulate food cells in the body, every inch of flesh and blood. All send joy. Also, when the flesh and bones in the body absorb the power of food and produce a strong sense of pleasure, the whole body naturally began to draw a large amount of heaven and earth vitality from the heavens and the earth, and merged into the flesh and blood. This is an almost instinctual ability. What's more, all of the purest heaven and earth vitality that we have learned are completely contained in the flesh without impurities, so that every inch of flesh is transforming and growing. Did the growth of that power and the joy of good food make the whole body and mind be intoxicated? It is precisely because of the essence of gourmet food and fish and the integration of the vitality of heaven and earth that the power of the body is increased by a few pounds. Don't look at just a few pounds of power, the power of still without any hidden dangers to grow the flesh, body. I want to say this, I don't know how many people will be jealous. This is the wonderful transformation brought by the gourmet cell. Interesting, it seems that even if it becomes a food product due to a gourmet cell, it may become a weakness of itself in the future, but compared to the benefits obtained, this weakness is not worth mentioning, and people are endless. Man, there is nothing perfect in the world. Too perfect is not good. Quote. Yi Tianxing groaned secretly in his heart. The most important thing is that the life awakening is too mysterious, and it is a perfect match with the gourmet cells. Eliminating the biggest worry in your heart also gives you the possibility to take another path. That's pure physical power. With pure flesh body strength, you can directly crush the sky and smash the void. That is the ultimate destructive force. This is a path of practice that Yi Tianxing sees in the Royal Dragon Classic. The direction of cultivation is completely focused on the flesh, the body shell. Smash everything with the most violent power, the real flesh is invincible. That road is too difficult to take. There is no specific way to cultivate. The kind of monk is called a cultivator, physical training and so on. Their realm is very simple, distinguished by juding. A tripod is equivalent to a monk in Shanghai. Moreover, in the same realm, the practitioners have almost the ability to suppress the practice of Kashi. Their flesh-to-body strength is too powerful and overbearing. But practitioners need to practice ascendant will, even walk the world in the way of ascetic practice, temper the body and bones with hunger, severe cold, extreme heat, and various extreme environments, and finally let the body and body transform and evolve. In the end, the flesh, body treasure, flesh, body destiny. Incomparable. There are not many lives and tricks, they are one miracle. Yi Tianxing had no extravagant hope to embark on the path of cultivator. That's too difficult, too difficult. The cultivation method is very extreme. Without the correct cultivation method, it is difficult to embark on this path, but now it is different. There are gourmet cells. Maybe it can really eat an avenue of heaven. I thought secretly in my heart, but immediately, I hid it in the deepest part of my heart. Guan, whether this path can be reached or not, as long as it persists, it may be the strongest hole card. When the enemy thinks he knows himself thoroughly, he can turn things around as long as he shows it. At a critical moment, it can save lives and determine the outcome of a battle. Xuan secretly decided that the matter of tempering the body must not be easily said. And, as long as he doesn't say it, it is difficult for others to see it. Because he doesn't need to torture the body like temperers, tempering flesh and bones. Just need to keep eating. Village chief, I don't know how you think about the world today. Huang Chengyan sat beside Yi Tianxing, sitting on the floor while eating fish with a big mouth, and asked suddenly. A troubled world, unprecedented troubled world, like the wild times, everyone is free, but everyone needs to face the death that comes at any time. Yi Tianxing looked at Huang Chengyan calmly, what seemed to feel from his words. Will the village chief want to end this troubled world? Huang Chengyan stared straight at Yi Tianxing, obviously, he was very concerned about his answer. This troubled world can't be ended by one person. It can't be changed by anyone. What I can do is to take someone who trusts me. In this cruel era, live, survive, live, better alive. As for the future, you don't need to think too much about it anymore. Yi Tianxing shook his head with a smile. In a vast world like the Eternal Continent, if the chaos is over, that is simply impossible. Even those legendary powers may not be able to do it. All he can do is bring people who follow and trust in him. In this troubled world, in the era of countless monsters and fierce beasts, live on, open up a land of joy, can bless a people, and can do this in order to think about other things. Otherwise, it is just an unrealistic delusion. But the village chief, in order to survive this troubled time, needs strength. It also needs a lot of helpers. Although old, come up with ideas and take care of trivial matters. When Huang Chengyan heard Yi Tianxing's words, he nodded secretly in his heart. If he said that he would end the troubled times, he would be a little disappointed. In that case, although he had ambitions, he was too big-hearted and hard to see the calm. Only by laying a good foundation can we really have more possibilities. In order to go further, otherwise, Zeta is just sparse. Unstable mind, difficult to become a big device. Huang Lao has great talents and has a ditch. Yi Mao knows that if Huang Lao is willing to help, Tianxing will naturally be very happy. In the future, some things in the village will require Huang Lao to arrange and take care of it. I see Huang, it seems that Lao has not yet started to practice. There is a book, by Xie Dan Shen Lu, in the book of scriptures, which should be very suitable for Huang Lao. You can pass on to it when you wait for it. Yi Tianxing said with a smile. He already knew in his heart that Huang Chengyan intends to truly follow himself. Perhaps, the approved rate is not so complete and it will never be too high, but in the troubled times, he has no choice, and the bait placed in the Tibetan scripture hall also played a great role. With his mind, he could understand in just 1 or 2 days. In troubled times, strength is fundamental. Without strength, it's hard to do anything. Will die at any time. But such a person, once loyal, is almost trustworthy. The ancients attached great importance to faith. It is more important to care about reputation. Thank you, Lord. What happened in the village, Huang should do his best. When Huang Chengyan heard that, he immediately rose up, bowed to Yi Tianxing, and formally met. In this regard, Yi Tianxing did not stop. After waiting for a bow, he lifted him up with a smile, and said, Xuanwang village is waiting to be revitalized, and it is time for Huang Lao to make great efforts. Although the sparrow is small, it also has all the internal organs. Although our Xuanwang village is not large, but we also need to be orderly. Villages are not our future. We need to build a good foundation. Quote. My lord, rest assured, the old man thinks he has this ability. Huang Chengyan's face showed confidence. Scratched his beard and said with a smile. He is confident of taking care of this in Xuanwang village. Well, let's ask Huang Laoduo's heart for the things in that village. I think of a way to find out the digger and kill it. Otherwise, the threat to the entire village is too great, and no one knows when it will be. Sudden appearance. Yi Yixing frowned secretly, thinking of digging worms, but also a headache. According to Wushu Tianshu, the only weakness of this earthworm is its revenge. Very revenge. As long as it provokes it, it will stare without hesitation, and its revenge is very strong. But now the key is to find it. This is the most important. Yu reading books. Thinking of this, Yi Tianxing also felt headache. He wasn't afraid of piranhas, but he just chose this digger to be an intractable opponent. To deal with digging worms, you can also use bait to lure them as before, and as long as you can draw it out, its own threat will be greatly reduced. Huang Chengyan said after a slight groan. I also thought about this, but I don't know what kind of digger is interested in and can't resist. This bait can't continue. Yi Tianxing shook his head. If he could lure hunting and digging insects, that will definitely not wait until now. Lao Shi is going to go to the Tibetan scripture pavilion and get the inheritance of the Blood Dan Hard record, to see if he can attract talents into the body, open up the sea of God, and learn from the body. In that time, it is really dangerous, and old can also play a role. It's not like the hands are not bound by chickens, Huang Chengyan said decisively. Well, with Huang Lao's talents, the talent must be amazing. Once you open Shanghai and step into the ranks of monks, you will make rapid progress, and it is even possible to cross several realms in one fell swoop. This is the great potential of those top Confucianists. This is especially true of the old Confucianism. Look now at what level Huang Chengyan can break through in one fell swoop. In this regard, Yi Tianxing felt extremely looking forward. But it is certain that once you get started, Huang Chengyan's cultivation will transcend himself. I am envious of this. After Huang Chengyan had eaten, he hurried to the Tibetan scripture pavilion, and he couldn't wait for the record of the heart of the blue blood. Yu reading readers are welcome to come and read. The latest, fastest and hottest serial works are in Yu reading. Mobile users please read. Chapter 60, Accidental Killing. I also understand this very easily. If you change yourself, I'm afraid you can't wait. It's unavoidable to seduce with the heart of the blue blood Dan. This is a troubled world. Every day has to bear various pressures for survival. Every day, someone may die. No one knows what will happen tomorrow. Use this to achieve your goals. Quote. Yi Yixing murmured to himself. All the villagers ate quickly and talked to each other, discussing the need to go to logging to build the house. Formally settled, but also a home completely, everyone said, yearning for. I can't have a home, they are already very satisfied. It is not easy to live in this world. Although they appear in the valley from different worlds and dynasties, there are many tools that should be available. There are a lot of saws and axes. There are even many carpenters. Those who eat are always brought with them around. Now we need to cut down trees and build houses without losing the necessary tools. Otherwise, Yi Tianxing will also feel a headache. It's amazing. The wound that appeared yesterday has healed. The ability of gourmet cells is really amazing. As long as you take gourmet food, you can not only attract the world's vitality, refine the beauty of China, but also quickly recover your wounds on the body. Clearly felt that the original wound had healed, and that a piece of flesh cut off directly by the wind blade had naturally recovered as before. The whole body is full of strength. Jing Qi Shen, all have returned to the peak. It's too late, let's do it this morning. If you want to eat, he can eat another 1-meter-long piranha, there will be no problem, but look at the large number of ordinary people around the hungry eating fish meat, fish soup, he did not continue eat it. These villagers are still kept. Only by eating more meat and having a strong body energy, they will have a better chance of getting started. Dang dang dang. At the mouth of the valley, there was a crisp roar. That was the sound of iron vibrations. In order to facilitate the observation and reminder, Yi Tianxing had someone hang a piece of iron in the position of Taniguchi. As soon as an emergency was discovered, the iron ring was immediately sounded. Although it was not as good as a bell, the sound was not much worse. It can be transmitted far in the valley to Xuanwang village without any problems. But this alarm bell is not a huge danger, nor is it allowed to ring. There is an accident, this is the alarm bell from Taniguchi. There must be something big, and there won't be another monster killing it. Many people with smiles on their faces also became extremely ugly. He once again felt the infinite danger in this world. It looks like another monster is coming. It's really a moment of restlessness. Ji Tianxing suddenly stood up, his face before the gentleness and smile of the people in the village disappeared instantly. In its place was a cold spell. Big tiger, subordinates are there, Wang Dahu replied immediately. Mobilize all the soldiers immediately, pick up the weapon, if there is no weapon, give me the wooden stick that was previously seized from the green-skinned monster, and immediately gather and go to Taniguchi. Yi Tianxing quickly ordered. Yes, Lord, I didn't hesitate. Everyone knew that if there was a crisis now, it would be a big danger of life and death. Here, no one's spirit has been relaxed. Everyone is always keeping a strong vigilance. The soldiers in the puppet barracks had begun to gather in the first place. Although the queue of the recruits was not neat, the killing air emanating from their bodies was enough to make up for it, and everyone's face showed a decided color. That was the gaze to dare to fight with monsters and beasts around. After struggling, and witnessing the deadly danger again and again, it is very clear that in order to survive in this world, we must have the conviction to be desperate. Go, go, when these soldiers came to Yi Tianxing, he just glanced over his eyes. There was no extra words. What had been said before? No one for whom, even for himself, should take out what belongs to the man. Bloody come out. Stainless steel war spear was already in his hand and strode forward. Behind him, more than 300 soldiers followed Yi Tianxing without hesitation. He had a long knife, a long gun, a bow and arrows, and a recruit had no weapons. He still held the wood obtained from the green leather monster in his hand. Baton. These sticks do not know what the material is, they are very hard, even if they are cut with the sword pair, they will not be cut directly. Also, the portion is not light. Ji Qian, until there is no real weapon, this stick is definitely a good choice. The destructive power that can be exerted in the hands is also not small. If you hit it with a stick, ordinary monsters will definitely smash their heads and burst. 23 soldiers strode forward, naturally exuding a powerful momentum. His eyes fell on Yi Tianxing, who was in the front. There was no fear in his eyes. Following the man in front, they only felt that the blood in his body was boiling, and all the fears were pressed to the bottom of his heart. The people in the village saw the more than 300 resolutely heading to the battlefield, and their eyes showed hope and respect, because they were very clear that there were many people in it. They might go this way and never return. They are fighting and even giving their lives to the people in the whole village. I came to Taniguchi, and scouts had come to report. Master, there are suddenly a lot of mice outside, and there are more mice than before. There must be rat nests near here. It looks like they are going to hit the valley again. The scout quickly said. In fact, needless to say, Yi Tianxing had already seen the dense rat population. Wei say a gray mouse appeared coldly in the channel of the valley. Each one was barely fierce, bloodthirsty and cruel. At a glance, there were only tens of thousands. If such a quantity rushes into the valley, it will definitely cause unimaginable damage. At present, Xuanwang village has not built the nearby defenses, and has not built any fences or the like. Immediately, the rats were rushed in, absolutely fatal. Brothers, what's behind, everyone knows well. Our village is behind us. If the rats rush in, our entire village will be destroyed, and a large number of people will die under the minions of these mice. Yes, just because we are still a man, kill me, I will go first, everyone, follow me, kill me. Quote. I don't want to defend, I just need to attack. Kill it, and attack is the best defense. Kill these mice to be afraid, and to chill. Yi Yixing grinned to reveal Sen Leng's white teeth, and the tang knife in his hand was flashing with cold light. Rumble. As soon as Yi Tianxing was about to kill the rats with the crowd, all of a sudden, a violent roar passed through the valley without warning. There seemed to be a fierce collision sound from the ground, and the ground was shaking. Immediately after, I saw a large hole popping up in an empty field without warning. In the hole, a large number of rats were drilled at once, but as soon as some rats came out, they immediately began to roll wildly on the ground. Then, I saw that the fur and flesh of the body began to emit white smoke and melted at a speed that was visible to the naked eye. Between a few breaths, it turned into white bone and corroded into a pool of liquid. I was shocking to see. Good guys, this group of mice is so cunning, they even raided the valley directly from the ground, and the mice have become so smart. Wang Dahu saw a stunned expression on his face. Shouted. They encountered something underground and were forced out halfway through. The bones that can corrode these rats were not stored. This is a burrowing worm. Do these rats burrow underground and dig directly to the digging worm? Yi Yishanxing looked at the rapidly corroded bodies of the mice, his eyes narrowed, and a strange color appeared. If it is true, then it is really interesting. Maybe this group of mice will really solve a big problem for themselves. The digger is the most vengeful. Whoever encounters it must be endless. Obviously, the rat group has already clashed with the digger. The nature of the digger is definitely not good. As long as they fight, no matter who they are, if anyone wins, they won't be afraid of it. The more they die, the better. If they all die, they will save their shots. Rumble. I only saw www.novelhall.com. Under the ground shaking again, a large number of rats got out of the ground. Many screamed, and many spread out directly. In a blink of an eye, I saw a golden figure emerging from the ground, and then a slender figure. Give off a strong smell of sulfuric acid. It makes people smell a kind of blowing nose. Khan looked carefully. He only saw that in the open space, a golden mouse the size of a calf was standing on the ground fiercely. Even the eyes are golden, exuding a chilling gleam, which makes people shudder. Opposite it, a crimson monster. This monster is 6 or 7 meters long. The surface of the body is like magma, with weird cracks. It is a volcanic crack. The atmosphere of the flaming magma is flowing. When it appears, the temperature in the surrounding air is constant. Increase. The most terrible thing is that mouthpiece, just like a small volcanic jet, can see red light inside. Yan Jing both eyes blinked red. Loquat hypertrophy, very hypertrophy. Obviously, when the rats were making holes in the ground before, they didn't know how to dig this digger. Immediately countered by the enraged digging worm, the concentrated sulfuric acid sprayed out instantly killed a large number of rats. This also allowed the golden rat king and the groundworm to completely dry. From the ground, hit the ground directly. The horrible sulfuric acid that digs groundworms has also caused great losses to the rat population in an instant. The rat king is also very vengeful. When he saw the digger killing the rat and rat grandson, it blew his hair directly. Regardless of the sneak attack or the attack on Xuanwang village, he directly hit the dig worm. www.novelhall.com. Welcome the book readers to read. The latest, fastest and hottest serial works are all in. www.novelhall.com. Mobile users please read.